Hi, everybody.
What's up, Meansters? It's Derek.
Hi, how's it going? Happy travels. Happy Thursday.
It's gonna catch on.
No, it won't.
One of these days.
No, please, no.
Well, pásame el vino.
Sure. How's everybody doing? It seems like we have a few people that have already joined. Hey, Nick Peterson, Traveling with Nick P. How's it going? And Mary Ellen's on already. Thanks so much for joining early. And look like David H. just was able to stop in and say hi. So I assume he's not on right now, but hello to David. And if anybody else is on, let us know. We have... oh, just got a little message from Lori Sims. Welcome, Lori.
What's up, Lori? How you doing?
Hope you had a good day. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. We have been pretty busy with preparing for leaving on Saturday for our long road trip. And today, on this live stream later, we're going to give it a few minutes, but we're going to start going over our list of, it's a pretty good list of things that we always recommend people do before leaving on a long trip, whether it's a long road trip or plane trip, or, you're walking or biking or whatever you are doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Biking, yeah, okay.
Maybe you're biking
cross-country
across
bike
the country.
Trip,
Yeah, I mean, there's probably
anything that requires you to leave your home for an extended period of time. We're talking a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think it's a niche market, the people that bike across the country, but, just in case. Hey, Darion, welcome. How's it going?
What is up, Darion? How you doing, bud? What is
Nick
up?
says that up there in Minnesota, it's very chilly, plunging below zero all day Friday and Saturday up here. I've heard it's supposed to get very cold very soon for a lot of us Midwesterners.
Cold emoji.
Yeah.
Cold emoji, yes.
My mom texted a little bit ago because I guess it's supposed to get really cold in Chicago as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's supposed to be chilly here. We're kind of outside of Cincinnati. That's the closest major city, even though we're in Indiana. Mm-hmm. I think it's supposed to be chilly here, but
not too bad.
Not terrible.
Yeah, not terrible.
Yeah.
And pretty quickly we go south, so it's okay.
Yeah, so we're getting south very quickly on this road trip.
I think no matter what, I think where we're gonna be, like in Little Rock, it'll be unseasonably cool for the season, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Hi, Andy Lee, and Mo is on, and
Shady Hill Homestead, what is up?
Shady Hill Homestead, Daniel Fields, Travel Adventures with Eric B. So many new people jumped on right at once. Thank you guys so much for saying hi.
Eric
and
B in the hizzy.
Happy Thursday. Cheers to everybody. We'll do a little...
Thirsty Thursday.
We haven't done one of these clinky things in a while on the live.
So...
Derek hasn't drank wine with me on the live stream in a while.
So Eliz went up, got herself a glass, poured herself a glass, and I came over and was like...
I honestly thought that
me?
you weren't going to be drinking wine, because you haven't been. You've been having...
Silly wabbit.
What is it, Coors Light or something?
That's what I've been drinking upstairs.
Yeah. Well, you drank that last night, too, because we were watching The Crown.
I did drink that while watching The Crown.
Yeah.
I felt very, very muy fancy. It was quite nice.
Let us know if anybody else watches The Crown. It's kind of like making me miss London, making me miss the UK a little bit.
It made me a little sleepy last night. There was we did a twofer, double header, watched 2 episodes up until midnight. It's really shattering my let's go to sleep early, wake up early plan, but it's all good.
Yeah, we're gonna shatter that tonight too, right, guys?
We will see.
So Andy asks, and we're gonna go back to Chicago.
Sometime in the spring when it warms up a bit.
Yep, absolutely. We're not 100% sure about anything right now, but we really want to get back to Chicago. We have people renting out our house though, so their lease is still going, so we don't really have anywhere to go. We'd have to stay with my parents or friends or something. So, yeah, or at a hotel, of course.
Hotel, yeah, we could rent out a place for a month or something like that. But yeah, no, I mean, right now, we're still in that part of the time when people aren't really working from their offices and stuff, so it's very much possible to continue to travel around a little bit.
Yeah.
But once things open up a lot more, I think we'll probably look to be in Chicago more permanently again. So
totally.
That's when we plan to go back.
And Mo, I want to give you a shout out.
MGH.
Yep, so MGH97 says, "Hi everyone, just wanted to say hi," and then he's off to sleep because it's 1 a.m. there because he is in Northern Ireland, and just thank you, round of
You're
applause
a rock star, Mo.
We even moved this
Rockstar.
an hour later than we usually do it this week, and we're going to be doing it this late in February just because we're going to be out west for most of February. So just with the time difference and stuff, for us, the rest of the live streams are going to start at 6 p.m. Mountain Time because that's where we'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern. So we thought we would just make it 8 p.m. this week too. But shout out to Mo for joining at 1 a.m. You're a rock star, and we miss you. We miss you, man.
I feel like we should take this thing with us on our road trip. What do you guys
Just
think?
like
just this fur thing. I feel like our live streams will be lacking if we don't have that.
Somebody
It's
asked
so fuzzy.
us, like, I think it was a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago, if we have extra room in the car, you know, because we're so used to flying.
Yeah.
It's like, if we have extra room in our car, what we would bring with us. And I didn't have great answers at the time. Like, I said my pillows, of course.
More toilet paper.
But basically, I've been like thinking about that question as I've been packing and getting ready and stuff.
Why?
And I'm like, oh, I would take maybe like a heating pad or something in case my muscles are sore after a hike or whatever. And I'm like, man, I wish I had a better like I should make a whole segment about what to take in a car.
Yeah. I mean, you know, so what we did this week is we actually went out and we did a mock packing of our car already to kind of see how much space all of our stuff's taken up, and I think we're pretty happy with where we're at right now. We definitely have more space if we needed it, but you know, I think we're at that good spot where, you know, if somebody were to look into our car, it doesn't look like we're moving across the country or anything weird like that. Or that we're living in our car.
Which we basically are doing both.
Yes.
But just temporarily.
We're staying at hotels. But
we're staying at hotels, but...
Yeah. No, it'll be good, though. And, you know, I think we're both pretty excited to hit the road and whatnot. Today, I went and I got the car washed to, you know, make it nice and clean. And especially to get, that...
it needed it.
Clear coat onto the windshield and stuff so that when it rains, it'll, you know, make it not as distracting on the long trip and whatnot. We've gotten a full service oil change. We've really been getting things ready, taking all the trash out of the car. So I think we're ready.
Yeah, we're ready to pack it up tomorrow. I'm excited.
Tomorrow's packing day.
I'm excited. Woo! Yay! We're gonna go on an adventure.
Yep.
Your energy needs to be up here about
I'm sorry.
Your energy is low. Mine is up here.
I'm still digesting. I ate so much food tonight, guys. I made this pizza casserole looking thing, but it's almond flour and stuff because of keto. And I ate way too much of it. It was probably 3/4 sausage. It was delicious, but you know, now I'm paying the consequences.
Cool.
But to get to Nick P's question, being near Cincy, what's better, Gold Star or Skyline Chili? I love cinnamon in my chili. Well, Nick P, we do not like cinnamon in our chili. So, not being Cincinnati locals, we're not big into the Cincinnati chili.
I don't think I've ever even had Gold Star. I think I've only had Skyline Chili once. And that's because Derek's family doesn't really care for the local chilies because they didn't, they're not from here. So,
originally, yeah. They've lived here for a while now, but no, we're just not big Skyline people, not big. Because, all right, so for those who don't know, Cincinnati chili is basically, think of it as a bed of spaghetti, then a very meat-heavy sauce on top, but that meat-heavy sauce has cinnamon and maybe some chocolate in it, so it's kind of sweet and has that cinnamon taste, and then on top of that is I said that was the base. Spaghetti
I'm
noodles.
sorry, I missed that part.
And then on top is 2 inches of just shredded cheddar cheese. So it's intense. And
it's a meal.
Friends of mine love it. They love that stuff. And I remember in high school before Cincinnati was on my radar at all, because my family hadn't moved here yet. going to Skyline. They had opened one up in the Indianapolis area, and my buddy and I went, and he's a huge Skyline fan because his family's from Cincinnati, and he was just like housing. He's like, "This is so good," and I took a bite, and I'm like, "What do they put in this thing?" It just wasn't my thing. Now.
It's such a local thing, though, that if you do visit Cincinnati, like my friend Brenna, who's been on this channel before, she loves it. And she and I used to work on the Procter & Gamble account back when we worked together. And so she would come out here a lot since it's based here, and would always get the Skyline chili every time she came out for work. So, I mean, definitely give it a try, figure out which one you like better. But I just don't think we're the right ones to give our opinions on it.
Yeah, no, but, it is something that people love, and I think Skyline is probably, like, the name brand.
And you can find it anywhere. It's not just,
everywhere.
like, one or two locations. It is in, I'm pretty sure, like, every town. There's one in this town.
But, speaking of,
there's one right as you get on the highway.
This is actually, I like this topic of, like, what is it, like, the quintessential dish of a place, right? And if you think about Cincinnati, I'd say Cincinnati's, like, dish is that Cincinnati chili.
The Skyline chili and the Buckeyes, right? Or is that an Ohio thing?
Buckeyes, yeah. Those are great. I mean, it's like one of my favorite desserts, but I wouldn't call that like a Cincinnati thing. I would say that, the Cincinnati dish would probably be like that Skyline chili.
Yeah.
Kind of like
I'm not going to argue.
Kind of like you get toasted ravioli if you're in St. Louis, or I don't know what you do. New York is pizza, Chicago's pizza,
Yeah. You got to get it if you come here.
Yeah, it's those things, right? And I feel like that might be Cincinnati's.
We're getting
and yes, Buckeyes are an Ohio thing. I know because Ohio Buckeyes and whatnot, and they're delicious. But I wouldn't say that those are a thing that's like you come here and you're like, I have to eat that. Maybe. They are good though. They are quite delicious. I would highly, highly recommend it. But we have a few more people on. We got Ryan Donahue from Boston.
Hi,
What's up, Ryan?
How's
Trying to bring my energy up. Need a hype man.
You're usually the hype man.
Michelle Tessier is in the house.
Hi,
what is up, Michelle?
Hi, Rob Fuzz.
Rob Fuzz.
Welcome. I think it's your first time on here, so thanks for joining.
Yep, we appreciate having you here. Thank you.
Sorry if we've missed anybody who's new. I don't know if I said howdy to Darion yet. I think maybe I did.
We did say hi to Darion.
Good.
Darion is in the house. Every day gone is another day gone for our trip. Yippee!
Yay!
Lori Sims. Yep. So Darion, for those who don't know, Darion is quarterbacking a trip to Germany that Lori is going to be on. So that's like really cool.
Yeah.
And we're really excited to travel vicariously through them as they go and explore Germany and eat some spaghetti ice. I'm sure.
Another thing to say is that we are going to be interviewed on Darion's YouTube channel this month, which we're really thrilled that we finally made our schedules align for this. It's going to be on February 20th, Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So that'll be super fun. And then our live streams this month are all going to be at the same time. 8 p.m. on 8 p.m. on Thursday nights.
8 p.m. Eastern time.
Eastern time, yes.
Same time this one started.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Nick P is telling us that Minneapolis' dish is the Juicy Lucy.
Juicy Lucy. I haven't had that one. I've been to Minneapolis.
Oh, you've never had that?
No.
They're good.
Oh, you've had it?
They put the cheese and a lot of times like toppings and stuff like mushrooms and stuff.
Ooh, I like mushrooms.
Kind of like, think of a ravioli, but instead of dough, it's got the meat.
That's
and they cook it
fun.
and it melts and it's a Juicy Lucy.
I missed out when I've been to Minneapolis.
Yeah, it's quite delicious.
Yeah, I bet.
Katie Smith is in the house. What's
hi,
up, Katie?
Welcome.
Nice to see you here tonight as well.
And then, yeah, Darion, we're looking forward to the live stream too. So we have a pretty long list. If you guys are up for it, we wanted to share kind of as the main theme of this live stream, all the things you want to do kind of like immediately before leaving on a long trip, whether that's you're going abroad and you're flying, or you're road tripping, or anything where you're kind of away for an extended period.
We have 15 things in our list, and if we do not hit one of your favorites or a thing that you definitely do, tell us.
Yeah, or if you want to say it
Put
first
it in-
before us.
Put it in the comments. Put it down there, and these can be your things that you say. Do this before you go on a long trip.
Like, what do you always do? Because we want to hear from you,
Yeah.
especially because what if we forget to do it and then you didn't tell us, and then it's your fault that we didn't do it? I'm just kidding.
So, with that in mind, number 1, we should have like graphics like 1.
I know there's some people get really good graphics with their live streams.
We need to get better graphics. Okay, number 1. Clean out your wallet to make sure you have what you need and just what you need. This is something that I definitely do when I'm going to Europe or on any sort of big trip is, if you have like a local like rewards card to a place that's just
like,
in your town.
If you're going to Europe,
I don't need that.
Maybe take out your Costco membership card. You're probably not going to use it there.
Yeah, so there's little things like that it's like, okay, you don't need that, and you want to streamline it a little bit. You don't want to have the George Costanza wallet from Seinfeld where it's just like you can't even close it. And
which Derek is very well known for having. Yes,
I have had that, but guys, this is a new age. This is a new day because I have gotten a new phone.
Yeah, we both got new phones this week.
This new phone has like the built-in wallet, so I can keep my credit cards, a little bit of cash in my phone, so I can go walletless now most days. And I don't.
You're
like,
so happy about this.
It was so weird because we went to the store the other day when we had first gotten these set up, and I even said it to Eliz. We were walking in the store. I'm like, it feels so weird to walk in without my wallet in my like back pocket and just the phone. I feel like I forgot something.
He's like, I feel lighter. I don't know.
It's so nice. And you don't have that dumpy looking, just like big darn wallet in your back pocket that makes it look all dumpy.
You didn't ever look dumpy.
That's good.
You just looked like you maybe had a lot of things in your butt.
The show's not for kids. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no. So that's cool. Like if you can streamline it down, that gives you more room for other things. Especially if you're going to a place like Europe, where they might have odd shaped bills from what your wallet's used to. So you have to like fold them up and everything. So that might take up more space in a wallet. If you want to try to like shove coins in there.
Eric Brown keeps his in his front pocket, which is actually way better for pickpocketing.
That's great for pickpocket. Yeah.
If you can fit. So Derek's his wallet was like so thick at one point that there's like no way it could have gone in his front pocket. But he's been super good about streamlining it over recent years.
Yeah. And Ruth is asking, what do I do with my driver's license? That's in here. It's in here with like.
There's
it fits like credit cards and driver's license and stuff.
There's 4 cards stacked on top of each other in there. So yeah.
3 cards and some cash.
You'd be shocked. Like even I just cleaned out my wallet today. As we were jotting things down, we were kind of doing them simultaneously, and I still had a room key from our UK trip in my wallet. So like things just kind of pile up, and you don't even realize that they're in there.
Yeah.
And that's just a really good thing to start a long trip out, lightweight. And then kind of on top of that, because we mentioned that like only have what you need, there might be things that you need to add into your wallet.
Yeah.
Kind of like as I'm trying to think. I had an idea of what that would be, but maybe
AAA card. I don't know.
Yeah,
it could be
AAA
something
card,
like that.
global entry card. Maybe your if you have the pass for getting into airport lounges or something
let's say
like
you're
that.
going to London and you already have an Oyster card. You put your Oyster card in, you don't forget it. That's
which
a great
is
thing to do too.
like a subway pass that doesn't expire. Or if you have, just a subway pass in general from a friend that you can use in a new city. But yeah, there's lots of different things.
National Parks Pass, if you're going to be going to a place with national parks. There's a lot of things like that maybe you don't carry around on the daily that you want to get put in there. A sub-bullet to this, which is the digital wallet. If you have an iPhone, you have the Apple Wallet and whatnot, so you can load that full of credit cards or other things. For instance, we just bought travel insurance for this upcoming trip, and I was able to load in my travel insurance card into my digital wallet so that I have it in case we need it.
Oh, nice! I didn't know that.
So that's something to do. Make sure your digital wallet is also kind of cleaned out, because if you've had it for a while, you probably have a lot of like Delta or American Airlines like tickets, just like
boarding passes
just like sitting in there. like I do, because for some reason they don't just automatically like clean out, which I feel like they should.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So going through cleaning all that stuff out, so it's nice and streamlined. Perfect.
Absolutely. And then, hey, Iggy from Torre Don Jimeno.
Iggy,
I
how you
actually
doing?
put my unnecessary cards in a decoy wallet if I go to a place like Barcelona or Paris where lots of pickpockets are. That is so
You put that
smart.
one in your back
And
pocket.
also, like, if you're getting, like, somebody's like, give me your wallet, then you can be like, here, have this one.
Well, there was actually, it was a joke, but I don't think it was a joke. But there was somebody talking about, how New York City used to be. I think it was Dan. I think it was Carlin. Talking about how New York City used to be like way rougher, right? Like you went into New York and like you had mugger money.
I mean, there's a Sex and the City episode where Carrie gets mugged.
Okay, yeah, but this is like we're talking about like the 70s.
Oh, okay,
where it's
sure.
like, yeah, you just got mugged. It's what happened. Like you'd walk down the street, you'd get mugged. And he's like, you just carried mugger money on you. It was like a $5 bill. So that if you did get mugged, you had something to give him. Here you go.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to get stabbed.
No. Well, I mean, yikes. That luckily isn't as strong of a case anymore. We lived in New York City for 8 years. Thankfully, neither of us got mugged while we lived there. Tom Shaner's on. Oh my gosh, it's been a while. How are you?
Hi, Tom.
And Megan Morris is on, and she said, "Cheers, Meansters." So Megan was not on, I think, yet when Derek started our live stream that way, and I was like, there's a contingent that wants to make this a thing.
I want swag. I want Meanster swag.
Okay. Well, I mean, you could design it.
Oh, nobody wants that. It's gonna be a t-shirt tuxedo that just says
You can
Meansters
just
on
open
it.
up Windows Paint, and write Meansters. See what happens.
No, it's not gonna be pretty. I don't have the artistic bones in my body. Yeah, so
Meansters, I'd buy it. Oh my gosh.
There we go. See,
everybody's like interested in this, but me.
I think that's why everybody is.
I know. It's like they're like pushing my buttons.
Okay, so that was number 1 though. Clean out your wallet. Make sure it's all streamlined. Don't carry unnecessary things that you don't need. And, if you lost them, it would be just a pain in the butt. The other thing I would say, actually, is because I don't like taking a lot of credit cards with me when I go places, but one cool thing that you could do, and this gets back to the digital wallet real quick, is make sure that your digital wallet, if you use it, like the Apple Wallet, has, whatever credit cards that you would want to potentially use. So, for instance, my digital wallet has a lot of my, like, hotel-specific credit cards in it, so that if I need them, if we end up staying at like a Hyatt or a Hilton or something like that, we can actually use it, but I don't have to carry that card around. Because most times I'm not going to use that card unless I'm staying at that specific hotel. So that's not just for a long trip. I think that's just a general thing, nice to have. But figure I'd throw it in there.
Are you able to load in? Sorry, guys, I'm not as Apple Wallet advanced as Derek. Are you able to load in? Say you have like a gas rewards card or something like that. Basically, like your rewards card, so that people can scan it.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I
Maybe
wouldn't
somebody
say
here
I'm
knows.
sophisticated in this, but I've dabbled.
But you've dabbled.
Dabbled.
Hi, Thomas. Welcome.
Thomas Reiser in the house. What's up, sir?
Well, thank you guys for saying this was a good first one. So we have several more.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Do you want to say it?
Sure. So this is pretty much like right as you leave your house.
Walking out of the house.
Yeah. Or like right kind of as you're about to. Make sure that if you're going to be gone for a while, to set your thermostat to what the temperature in your house needs to be while you're gone. So for us right now, like we're leaving Derek's parents' house and they're still going to be here, so we don't have to do that. But we luckily, like our house in Chicago had a Nest set up so we could control it and put it on like eco mode. And then as like an hour, let's say we land at O'Hare Airport, and we then can turn on our phones and we can open up the Nest app and turn it off of eco mode, so that way the temperature gets, back to the regular setting. Not everybody has those types of thermostats. If you have one that isn't digital, you can still kind of set it to that, so that way your energy bill isn't crazy, especially in like winter time in Chicago or Minneapolis when it's gonna be super cold. You want to make sure that it's not like your house is going to have like busted pipes, but you also don't want to have it be super super hot while you're gone.
Yeah, you don't want to pay for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, set the thermostat. You know, if it's summertime, turn that baby up.
Yeah.
It's wintertime, turn it down.
Hey, Tommy Dodson. I think you're first time in the chat as well, and welcome to you.
Tommy, what's up, buddy? I'm glad to have you here. So, that's number 2. Number 3. Number 3 is arrange for either shoveling in the wintertime or lawn mowing services in the summertime. Now, this is really going to be most important if you're gone for multiple weeks.
Well, it's just important if you're gone during winter time too in a snowy climate, because the easiest way for somebody who might be trying to do something not like steal from you or something is like while you're gone is to see that there's no footprints around your house and no one's shoveled and that sort of thing.
Yeah. So that, yes, all right, so I guess it's twofold, right? There's 2 reasons why you'd want to do this. One is in many places that we've lived, at least, you can get in trouble if, you let your yard get out of hand, homeowners association, things like that. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to be a bad neighbor. So have somebody come over, cut your yard. Same thing with, snow, where our house in Chicago, for instance, if it were to snow and we didn't shovel, we could then get in trouble by the city. So therefore, it's important to make sure that it does get shoveled, even if we're not home to do it. I guess the second one is, yes, if you have the sticky-fingered bandits, like in Home Alone, casing out houses, you don't want them to notice, hey, that yard's unkempt. Maybe nobody's
or that driveway is completely unshoveled or whatever, yeah.
Yes. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Lori Sims says, number 3, just have the lawnmower do the front yard, back gate locked.
That makes sense. So that way you're not having them do the back. You can save a little money. Got it.
Yeah. Lori says, for number 2, it's mild here in California. I don't turn it on or off. Yes, you are the lucky one, Lori. Not all of us have that. Beautiful, beautiful
You
weather.
probably also can open your window and just let a nice breeze flow through 9 months out of the year. And I'm like, oh, that sounds beautiful.
Yeah. So actually, I'm going to move one up to talk about now because it kind of fits with this similar theme, which is stopping your mail. Because it gets to the same thing, right? First of all, you don't want to come home to just like a jam-packed mailbox with just like a bunch of junk mail in it and everything. So if you stop your mail, you don't have to worry about that. You can do that up to like, a month? Typically. Nick P knows. I bet Nick P knows how long you can stop your mail for. But yeah, stop your mail, pick it up later or whatever, and, that works. Otherwise, if you're going to be gone longer than that, find a neighbor who's willing to go over maybe once a week, pick it up, and keep it for you until you get home.
Walter's World just came in with the answer. Hey, Mark. He says 4 weeks you can hold your mail. After that, you have to forward it.
See, I was right.
Nick P will definitely know, but it sounds like you came in first there. Thank you.
Quick on the keyboard.
And welcome.
Hey, Mark.
Musings at Midlife, welcome too.
Musings, sorry, we missed you earlier. I saw you on and I got sidetracked. I'm sorry.
Hi.
But yeah, so the mail thing, that's another one of those things though, where if you have like mail like coming out and a ton of like newspapers all over your front porch and stuff. Guess what? People know you're not home. Maybe it's a place to burgle.
Yes, Lori, also stopping your newspaper delivery as well. Absolutely. We only have a digital subscription, and I totally didn't think of that. So this is why we have these conversations. You guys help us think of things that we forgot.
Yes, thank you for that. I just assumed if you stopped your mail, that would stop too, but I guess that's not true.
No,
because the mail boy don't know.
And especially that's the easiest way to know if somebody's not home is if there's like giant newspaper piles in their driveway that they haven't picked up. Game over.
Plus, they read newspapers. They probably don't have like a security system.
No. Oh my
I'm joking.
gosh. My
I'm
parents
joking.
are on this and they read their newspaper all the time.
But do they have a security system? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so actually I'm going to check these off as I go so we don't re-say things. 1, 2,
Buckle
3,
my shoe.
4.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so you started moving around on the list.
That was just because I thought that had to do with thieves.
Okay. Well, I just want to, as we figure out what's next, thank you all for like hopping on this one. We really, really appreciate it. If you are liking this list, give this video a thumbs up if you haven't. It tells YouTube that this is a great live stream and it's a great way to support this channel. Helps us kind of come back week after week. So thank you if you've already done it, but just wanted to give a little reminder. Thumbs up.
Huh. All right. Big Wide World, what's up?
Hi,
Glad
there's
to
a
have
big
you
wide
here.
world. Welcome.
I believe you're in Australia. Says, is that right?
Do you not have post office boxes in the U.S.? We don't
do.
have mail come to our house, but rather to our P.O. box and then pick it up. Sometimes we are gone for months. Super smart. We do have those, but they do cost money. Like when we lived in Chicago, we had one for package deliveries, especially because Derek and I travel a lot, and it was like $40 a month. It was something crazy expensive. So it's one of those things where I'm sure there's different pricing in different areas and stuff, but we lived in a big city, and it was a lot. So there's different ways that you can do it through the USPS as well. But that's cool.
Yeah, and if you're going to be gone for like way extended period of time, I would definitely recommend getting something like a P.O. box that you can use to have your mail go to as a kind of a forwarding address.
Yeah.
All those, I've known a number of people who've gone on those like long 6 month to a year type of trips around the world, and that's definitely something that they have to do before they leave, otherwise, or send it to their parents' home or something like that. So that's definitely important.
So Walter's World, Mark has mentioned a few that
that are on
our list. So let's just talk about those, I guess, next. So,
house cleaning stuff.
Yeah, so we have do laundry, which is something that you mentioned. But you specifically are saying sheets. We totally agree with you. And we're all about coming home to clean or, one day clean sheets. Depending on what time you have to leave in the morning on your travel day. But also clean towels can be really nice. And just clean clothes. So if you have a laundry hamper that you leave for a little while, that's just a bummer to come home to. Plus you're going to have all your laundry from the trip. So it's going to be a pretty big pile.
And it can smell. You don't want that. So laundry. Laundry is very important. I'm going to check that off the list. And then the other thing is also like dishes. Like make sure you're not leaving like dirty dishes in the sink. You don't want to attract bugs.
Yeah, so
or anything like that. So make sure that they're either hand washed or you have started your dishwasher. I actually recommend just making sure it's all done before you leave, because I actually get stressed if we hit go on the dishwasher and then leave for a big long trip. Because
which we've done.
My mind, we've done it, but in my mind I'm like, what if it leaks? What if we come home and there's just like water damage?
Well,
everywhere?
plus it's like super humid inside of there when the dishwasher's done. So
mold.
Yeah, it's just it's more ideal to hand wash, like do the dishes, empty the dishwasher, and then hand wash those final ones and everything. But we've been there. We understand. We understand what's realistic.
yeah. And then I see somebody on here has sorry, there's one on here that
number 5 or
really
6, clean sheets a must.
Yeah, definitely clean sheets. I love clean sheets.
You guys are talking so fast. We got to catch up.
Nick D, leave your home clothes and sheets as messy as they normally are, so when you get home, you're not confused.
Hi, Nick D, by the way.
What's up, Nick?
We always love your humor.
Thomas Reiser, bring home bugs. Don't bring home bugs.
Oh, gosh, no.
But yeah, so, Kim M. There it is. Clean out the fridge. Yes, that is a great one.
Hi, Kim.
If you're leaving, nobody else is going to be there. Clean out the fridge of anything that's going to perish while you're gone.
So that was a sub-bullet to kind of like making sure all the things are taken care of. But then I also wrote for that to leave enough food in your pantry or freezer that if for some reason when like the day that you get home, it's too late to order food. It's too late to go to the grocery store because of XYZ reason.
Or
whether-
heaven forbid you come home during a global pandemic and there's like no food anywhere. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, we have food now.
Right. So it's nice to
So
like
start prepping.
it's a lot of people will be like, okay, let me like eat through all my freezer food, and just try to clear out as much as possible.
Yeah.
But just having like a day, 24 hours worth of food that isn't going to spoil while you're gone, is also really nice to come home to.
Yep. So I guess this goes down to, for us, it's garbage and recycling. So make sure you're not leaving a bunch of garbage in your house. Clean out all your garbage cans. Take out your recycling. It depends on, in Chicago, we had it where our garbage cans were basically just always out for garbage service. So
Yeah,
if we just threw the stuff in there, it would get picked up. I know a lot of people live in subdivisions and you have to take it down to the curb, and you probably don't want to leave it out at the curb for weeks on end. So if you can take it down to the curb and maybe have a neighbor kid bring it back up towards the house when it's done, like, something like that, it kind of goes hand in hand with the whole, like, lawn service or snow shoveling and stuff like that.
Good point.
So those are just a couple of things that, when it comes to, like, your house, you don't want to come home to the smell of, like, kind of trashy, nasty stuff, so.
So our other one kind of in that category, along with, like, making sure your fridge is cleaned out, making sure your garbage and recycling are out, is also like vacuuming and dusting for the most part. Why would you not want to do that?
I just don't vacuum and dust generally.
Gross. No, you definitely want to make sure that like it feels fresh in your home for when you get back. That's all. That's all I say.
I was going to say, Iggy is saying, Derek, that actually happened to me last year. Flew to Florida mid-March, returned just in time for the Spain shutdown, and supermarkets were empty. Luckily, they restocked after 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, it kind of happened to us, right? We flew back from Amsterdam when things were really shutting down, and we cut our trip short, came home. Basically, the last day we could come home before the borders shut down. And, yeah, thank goodness we had food.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope it sounds like maybe you were able to make it all work with what you had in your home. But yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
Nick D, I don't want you as my neighbor. When leaving, throw your trash in the neighbor's lawn. Their problem now.
Creative.
There's Catherine Haggerty, what's up?
Hi, Catherine.
Hello.
So there's Big Wide World says, I always do a frenetic house clean before going away, even if it's only for a long weekend. Okay, so there's other people out there like me who understand that you might want to come home to a clean house. Clean enough.
Okay, so
you definitely don't want to come home to chores. That would suck.
All right, so we're going to take a little pause right now and go through some of the things that people have talked about, because I know that we missed a bunch, and we were kind of skipping around a little bit. So, real quick, Ruth is saying, advertising circulars used to litter people's steps. Do you still get them in your neighborhood? Yeah.
Yes. How do your parents get them?
In their mailbox.
Right, okay, because it's not in, like, my parents would get them in the newspapers and stuff, but there's just come in the mailbox.
Yeah, it's just in the mailbox. Just like in Chicago, we'd have things that would get like rubber banded to like we had a gate in our front yard.
Yeah.
And they would like come by and they'd stick a menu on it and throw a rubber band around it and just like leave it there.
Yeah.
So we get them that way too. I mean, those were just like in a
that one was interesting because we didn't always go out our front gate.
We could go weeks without going out our front gate.
Yeah, so especially during the pandemic.
We have like 5 restaurants.
And we'd be like, oh, it looks like we haven't been home. But we've been home this whole time.
We've been in there, right? Yeah. Weird. So Mark said, clean your house, at least all the dishes. Wash sheets. Yes, sir. Darion says, nothing like coming home to a clean house after being away for a while.
Yeah.
Definitely. Mary Ellen Dillon says, I have mail delivered to a P.O. box since I can't be delivered to my house.
Nice.
You must live in the country, maybe, Mary Ellen.
She lives in Connecticut, I think. So I don't know what part.
Michelle, we always clean the house before we leave. We have house sitters, so I want to leave it presentable for them.
Great point. And also that reminds me of I follow this one YouTuber who also has books out and stuff like that. Kind of some of her stuff talks a little bit about etiquette and house cleaning, just kind of like lifestyle stuff. And she was saying that she always leaves her house at least like sort of presentable because she went on a trip one time and her husband is she lives in California, and her husband is English, and her husband's cousins randomly came into town in California while they were gone and asked if they could crash at their house. And so like she wasn't even home to tidy it, but felt like she couldn't say no because it's family. So it was one of those things where she was like, "Oh no, they're gonna see that I left the bed unmade and stuff." And like, granted, I mean, what are the chances that somebody like comes to your
Invites
house?
themselves over to your
Yeah.
house while you're out of town.
Well, you're out of town, but like anything's possible,
Yeah.
I suppose. So you don't want to leave it looking like a tornado.
Yeah. And Tom Shanner says we often have someone that we trust come in and clean while we are gone. Yeah, we've done things like that before where we have somebody come in like right before we leave. Actually, we've been known to hire a house cleaning service once or twice.
Yeah, I don't love leaving out lock boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
Which of
We
course,
usually
if
do it,
it's
like-
somebody that you trust, then you could just give them the key in advance, and it's not.
We
a big
typically
deal,
leave
but-
on like Fridays for trips, Fridays or Saturdays type of thing. Usually a Friday. So a lot of times we would actually schedule to usually have a housekeeper come on like a Thursday or something like that. So we know the house is super clean when we leave. All we have to do is take the trash out and we're like done, and that's
Yeah.
kind of nice.
But that's not approachable for everybody, or
Yeah.
they might not have like that kind of service in their town, and so just making sure that it's the way that you want to come home to, whatever level of cleanliness that is, so that way you don't feel like you all of a sudden have chores to do, or you have risk of like something being smelly or dirty or
Yeah.
whatever. Can feel nice.
Yeah. Musings at Midlife says, I live less than a mile from my daughter, so we get each other's mail and such.
Nice.
Not sure what I'll do if when we go to Europe this fall. I may have to make a friend, lol. Yes.
You can definitely stop your mail. Unless you're going for longer than a month, like Mark was talking about.
Mhm.
And we've had that happen where we've said like, hey, we're coming home in 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden we'll get a ton of mail when we get back. But
I would love that though. It's like it would be like in a movie where like you two would be like you both get to Europe and then one looks at the other and goes,
I
"Oh, what'd you
sent
do
my mail
about
to your
mail? Oh, I
place."
forwarded it to your house. What'd you do with yours? Oh, I forwarded it to your house." No, that would be so funny. That would... Sorry, I cracked myself up.
Kevin.
Eric B. P.O. Box, also smart if you live in an apartment and you get packages delivered. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we did that because we went from having always lived basically in kind of like doorman type apartment, being in, New York and Chicago, to being in a house. That's, a big reason why we got a P.O. Box, because we're like, man, we're not always going to be home, and like, we might get expensive deliveries or something like that from Amazon, and we just don't want to worry about it. So,
well, we we lived in a city that isn't known for being crime free.
oh god,
So, it was just super safe to have a PO box for package deliveries generally, and the UPS store was 2 blocks away, so I could just walk there, and get it. But also too, I mentioned this like a minute ago. We had a gate, and the gate is taller than me. So if anything's breakable, like the people dropping off packages would literally have to throw it over the gate. So there was 2 reasons why we had a PO box.
Oh, okay, so it makes sense now. So Thomas, sorry, I'd missed your earlier one where it says, I like to do laundry a couple days before I get home, as I would rather not bring home bugs.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense than when I only saw the bring home bugs piece.
Like a souvenirs.
Yeah, got it. Okay, cool. So Tommy says he always unplugs the washer and turns off the water to it. Yeah, actually, that's really smart.
It is.
Because they have those things called like the vampire electronic devices that if they're plugged into your wall, they're going to suck a little bit of voltage out, which means that your electricity bill is going to be higher while you're gone than it should be. So yeah, think about maybe unplugging the toaster, different appliances, if you have easy access.
Yeah, and if you kind of have to do this if you live in a cold climate in general too. But even if, like, say we're going to Tucson, in 2 weeks. And that place, if you are gone for a while in the wintertime, there might be a few nights that if there's a cold spell that it might get below freezing. And so if you have like an outdoor garden hose to water outdoor plants or something like that, you don't always have to, like, in the wintertime completely turn off the hose. But if you're going to be gone for a while, turning off the hose to make sure that it doesn't bust would be really essential.
Yeah, that's important. Real quick, because we're a little bit behind, but there's a few new people in the chat. There's Sherry Awesome Sunsets, not Cherry. Sherry Awesome Sunsets.
Welcome.
What is up? Hopefully you had a nice sunset tonight. And Glenn Camp in the house. What is
Hi,
up,
Glenn. Welcome. Thanks for joining.
We'll get to you, though.
Yeah, so for those who are new into the chat, we are currently pretty goodly into the list of...
Like halfway there.
Halfway? You think we're halfway? Of our list of things to do right before leaving for a long trip. And that's for a road trip like we're about to take, or a long plane trip, bike trip, walking trip, any sort of long time that you're away from your house. So, yeah.
Yep. Okay, what else we got?
Catherine, did we read that one? Hi,
Lori Sims says, ha ha
I missed
ha. I left used coffee grounds in the filter for 3 weeks, and it was so nasty when I woke up to make coffee the next morning.
Derek, do you want to tell Lori Sims a story about what happened when we went to the UK to make her feel better?
No. No, I don't. Somebody
Not me. It
left
wasn't me.
coffee grounds in our French press for 3 months.
And Derek's... It still wasn't me. Derek's trying to tell you guys it was me when it was not me.
I made the coffee, therefore you should clean up the coffee because you drank it too.
You made it and left it there. But his mom cleaned it for us.
And we laughed.
saint.
We go, at least bug didn't come out of it. She goes, actually. I was like, no.
Yeah. So that was
that's kind of gross.
was a horrible thing. But yeah, you can. There's situations where you might, even leave like a Keurig coffee thing, and then it's still gonna get really gross.
Yeah, Keurigs aren't as bad, but yeah. Just little things like that. Make sure you're thorough.
Yeah.
Because Thomas Ryder says you don't want to bring home bugs. You don't want to also come home to bugs.
You don't want to come home to bugs.
Catherine says, hi from New Jersey. I make it a point to clean the entire apartment laundry, empty the garbage, and clean out the fridge. Any perishable foods.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
Nailed it.
Megan Morris is saying to Eric B. that he should pay attention to the news tomorrow. It's the deadline for the CDC to give their recommendations. Hopefully the U.S. will not follow suit like Canada and cancel flights to sun destinations.
Yeah, I know Eric and Megan, I believe, are both scheduled to go to Mexico this month. Yeah.
I think Eric is going in 2 weeks.
Oh, that'll be so fun.
Fingers crossed that is still a go. Big Wide World with Darion. It's a great country to visit. Feel free to ask any questions as to what you want to know. They were talking about Australia.
Yeah, we would be like ecstatic to go to Australia. We wanted to so bad this year. I was actually we were just watching the episode of The Crown last night where Charles and Diana go to Australia. Looked great.
Ruth is also talking about cleaning out your fridge. Yes. Iggy,
Yep.
Okay, we've already been there. Throw your trash in your neighbor's yard. Yes, Nick D.
Still probably not the best idea.
Eric B, I agree with you. We also get a lot of junk mail every single day, which is terrible.
I get so many catalogs
That we're like, how
that
did we get
I've
all
never
these?
signed up for.
So bizarre.
Yeah.
Marilyn Dillon, I do, Derek, and I live in the same building as the post office, but there isn't a box at the street. Wow.
Interesting.
It's interesting. Yes, that's quite interesting. Chris Frank in the house. What's up, Chris? Sorry I missed you earlier.
Yeah, sorry I missed you. Welcome.
So Michelle says, we pay some of the college girls at church to stay at our house. They take care of the dogs, mail, etc.
Such a great idea. And probably like much better for the dogs, or if you have any pets, to let them stay in their own home.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we have family that does that too, where they'll have somebody come over to kind of like watch the dogs and stuff like that. I've done that for friends when I was back in high school and whatnot. Added bonus, I got to play my buddy's like Xbox, which was fun because I didn't have one.
Still happy about it.
They came back from a vacation one time, and he was like, "Dude, how much of my game did you play?" He's like, "I came back, and it seemed like you'd like beaten the whole thing." I was like, "Yeah, I was just kind of hanging out at your house."
You have a great house.
Yeah, great house. Ate some Pop-Tarts. I don't know. Glen Camp. We have cats, therefore we have a cat sitter come once or twice a day.
Yeah, and that's actually frequent for cats, even.
Yeah, because Glenn is saying our cat sitter collects the mail, and we just stop it, or we just stop it.
Yeah.
We get delivered the day after we were back. Yep.
Makes sense.
Very cool. Lori Sims, I'm a little worried that I need to have someone come in daily and feed my cat and let it out and bring it in.
Your brother and sister have a cat. Brother and sister-in-law have a cat. And,
yes, brother and sister-in-law.
Yeah. And they have somebody come in, like, it's not once a day, it's like every 2 days, right?
Yeah, because I think cats are like, I had a cat growing up. My understanding is that cats are a little bit better about impulse control. They won't just like eat all the food. So you can just kind of like give them like 2 bowls of food.
There's also like little machines
like eat it over 2 days. You can get like the thing that like feeds it over 2 days. And cats tend to be a little bit more socially independent.
If she's gone for a week, that would be fine, right? But if you're gone for a long, long time,
maybe you want somebody to make sure your
coming
cat
in.
doesn't go feral.
Change the litter box, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So Lori Sims is yes, just read that. Okay, Catherine Hegarty at Vacuum and Dust before every trip. My cat sitter brings in the mail, and so you can start your work week off on the right note.
Yeah,
very
perfect.
Very true. Okay. Lori Sims says, put your light on timer so the house is not dark every single night.
Smart. I didn't think about that either. And that one wasn't on our list, but it should be.
Whoa! Clarissa Bonilla in the house.
Clarissa,
what's up?
Hi! Welcome! Clarissa was the person I interviewed on this channel last.
Hola! You two are awesome as always. XX. Claro, Clara.
She's the one that was on this channel. I interviewed last spring when she had to come home very quickly from Argentina. So she's famous. If you guys have been on this channel a while, you've seen her.
Clarissa, as seen on TV. Clarissa, thank you very much for being here. That's awesome.
Destination location, welcome. I'm not sure if we said hi to you yet.
But hello!
Hi!
All right, it says also set the timers at various times so it's not at the same time every single day.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
I wonder if there's like things that you can do from an app as well now.
I'm sure there's like a mode, like a rand mode, where it's like between this hour and this hour, it'll turn on and off at random times or something.
Yeah, you might have to get special light bulbs.
And if you're really into it, you get the toy train set up and you get the Michael Jordan cutout and you have it just like go around so it has the silhouette, going around every once in a while. Just like Macaulay Culkin.
Where did you ever get that idea? That is brilliant.
Okay, what else we got? Shady Hill Homestead. Turn off the water coming into your house to prevent waterline breakage and flooding.
Yes.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea, especially if you're gone in the wintertime and your place is prone to power outages.
If you have old pipes,
anything like that, that's a great recommendation.
Also, too, if you're gone for a long time and you know that there's going to be weather, like heavy storm, especially rainstorm, and maybe your home is prone to water leakage, just having at least somebody come in like the next day after one of those big storms, like somebody lined up to check in, might be a good idea.
Yeah, we actually did that though with like the turn off the water thing. We did that a couple years ago when we were going to be out of town in the winter time in Chicago because we said, God, that'd be a terrible thing to come back home to. So we turned it off, ran all of our pipes to get the water kind of out of the system until only like air was kind of coming out, and
that was when there was going to be like a polar vortex. And we were going to be away for part of it.
Quite cold.
And we were like, we don't want to mess with this.
All right, what else we got? Buenos noches, Clarissa Bonilla. Thank you, Megan Morris. Catherine Haggerty says, if I'm not at an Airbnb on a road trip, most have washer dryer. If she is at an Airbnb, most have washer dryer. Sometimes bring my laundry with me if I don't get a chance to do it before leaving.
Totally
nice.
Smart. That makes sense too, because sometimes some of the things you wear so frequently that you don't have a chance to do all of your laundry.
I used to do that back in college when I was coming home to stay at an Airbnb called Mom and Dad's House.
Your mom and dad are probably yelling from upstairs, like, "We know."
We hated it. It's great. Glenn Camp, make certain if someone is checking on the house, they know where the house shutoff is. Yes, that's...
Nick D's not a fan
smart.
of coffee in general.
All right, there we go. All right, destination location. I went to Cyprus with a former G friend, and before we left, she said she didn't need to do the dishes. She just had to... She just has to leave the dishes in a full sink of water. Came back to the whole sink covered in mold.
Yes, you would. That is
Yuck.
so
Oh, that's
disgusting.
gross. Oh, that's bad.
I'm upset. Former girlfriend for doing that. That's yucky. Oh.
Gnarly. Big Wide World. Derek and Eliz ask away as well if you want any help on an Australia itinerary.
Yeah.
We will do that.
We were looking, because there's supposed to be a new flight direct from Chicago to Brisbane that supposed to start last April. And so we were looking at, like, that area. But now world's our oyster in terms of Australia. Australia's our oyster? I think that's what I should say. Because I think that flight...
Are oysters big in Australia?
I don't know. But I do like oysters.
Lots of magnesium.
Yeah,
really good.
But anyway, so I have a feeling that flight is not going to take off for a couple years at this point now. So we would have to do a layover anyway, so we can kind of get wherever we need to go in Australia.
So I was laughing before because Lori Sims says, "Oh God, no wonder she's a former."
Yeah.
Nice.
I kind of wanted to say that. I'm glad Lori actually had the guts to.
Sherry's saying, "My son has people house and doggy sit while they're gone." Very smart. Destination location, yeah, it was not meant to be.
I mean, honestly, like, she probably learned her lesson and will never do that again. I'm guessing. Like,
but I bet she says my ex. I don't know, destination location. Her ex special persons maybe did the dishes that way too. I don't know. Who knows? He said, she said.
I'm like, I don't know where you're going with this.
I'm just saying how she probably remembers the story. It's like, oh no, I told him to totally do the dishes. Sherry's saying my mother-in-law comes over every other day to check on my cat and mail. All right,
nice.
Cool.
That's
All
nice
right.
to have local family that can do that. And even like water plants. My parents, thanks Mom and Dad, have come over and watered our plants before and stuff too.
Yeah.
Oh man, you guys, we're so behind and we have so many more
behind.
points.
It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so Lori Sims, yeah, my cat is outside with me most of the day. He would go crazy inside all day. Who knows what he would do and destroy? Yes, that. So that's one of those things where also maybe one thing to think about if you do have a pet that you're going to be leaving home for any extended period of time, make sure all your closet doors are shut. Make sure things that they might get into, like we used to have a cat, and when my dad would travel a lot for work, the cat would then pee in his shoes, or at least try to pee in his shoes. So, things like that, make sure maybe you get those things put away from any of your cats so that they don't get to them. Cats, dogs, whatever, because even if they tend to not destroy property and stuff, if you are gone for an extended period of time, that's not normal for them. You don't know how they might act out. So it's better to be safe than sorry on those things. Glenn Camp, I have a cat lady that I am married to. That's funny. She insists on frequent visits for our girls. They seem disappointed when we come back.
Oh. Sounds like she and the cats really get along.
Kim M, it's nice to see so many people on. Yes, it is. We have 36 people on right now.
Oh my gosh. Hi, everybody.
What's up?
This might be like a recent record on that. So thank you all for joining.
Much. And thank you to Kim. Wait, not Kim.
Thank you to
Katie Smith.
Let me just say thanks to Megan Morris, too, for telling everybody to smash the like button and hit the notification bell.
I was about to say that because Katie Smith also said hit the like button.
Oh, thanks, Katie and Megan. Yes, so if you haven't already, and you're having fun learning about what to do right before a trip and just hanging out with us cool people, press the like button. Subscribe. I saw that too.
Leave your TV on to a news channel so you can come back to informed debates with your cats when you get back. But you need to have 2 TVs on, one to like CNN, one to Fox News, and then you can get kind of like the real story.
I don't know about that. But yeah, no, I mean, we love watching BBC News. That's our favorite.
Actually, yes. Come back. Actually, leave it on BBC News, and then you'll come back, and maybe they'll have like a British accent.
Yeah, they'll talk to you in a British accent.
Meow.
That'll be fun.
Meow. I was like, meow.
Is that a British cat?
It's a British cat. Meow. That's how I would imagine. Yeah.
That's definitely correct, right, Glenn Camp? Okay, so.
I just offended cat people and British people.
Musings
at midlife.
Thank you so much.
How long since we've had a wave? It's been a little while.
A while.
I
Okay,
need to move my chair
yeah,
back.
get ready. Get ready. Wave time.
Woo!
Ooh, the bow on my blouse is like. The bow really is like woo with the wave.
Thank you
so much. That's really kind of you to
very much appreciate
give us the super chat. So thank you. If you have questions or you have comments, let us know. French news, BBC. That'd be fun. Buttercup wore off on Derek. Yep.
Buttercup.
I know he misses Buttercup so much. Buttercup misses you too, I'm sure.
Buttercup was great. I mean, he only wanted me for my food.
Yeah,
but,
he only wanted food.
But, we're here now, and there's a dog here that also only wants me for my food.
That is
so
true.
It's,
They would probably get along. Maybe you should just realize that you are a good cook. All of the things that you make smell good.
Yeah. Megan Morris, after you smash the like button, be sure to hit the notification bell.
That. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But thank you again, Megan, for saying that.
Oh, Catherine Haggerty's saying that at one point we froze. Oh no, and we're so far behind. I'm glad we came back.
I think we're back.
I think we came back.
Ooh.
Otherwise, whoa, I need to stay up to date on my my
Yikes.
stuff a little bit
Well,
more.
hopefully we won't freeze too long. It says that we're doing all right. Well,
Yeah.
now it's
blinking at us.
now it's
but
blinking
fine.
because we're talking about it.
All right. So, I guess you had a great pun. I don't remember what your pun was.
I don't even remember either. But thank you.
All right, Thomas Reiser, you used to be able to go from DFW nonstop to Australia.
Can you not anymore? Did they get rid of those? Well, of course you can't probably right now. But we were looking at, especially on American Airlines, I think flying through LA as one of them. What?
Sorry.
What are you
No, I'm just reading a little bit more about this. Oh, she was totally all about leaving the dishes. I gagged when we got back. We broke up on the trip, so it was definitely a sign.
That's awesome.
Holy, that's not,
I mean, not awesome, but
sorry that your trip was ruined. But wow, wowie.
that's a great anecdote.
That's a hell of a story. No, actually, so I don't know if you guys have seen that. There's like a commercial for a credit card. I don't remember which one it is, but it's one of the cashback credit cards for saving up points and traveling. And they're talking about Steve saved up so many points that he went on that Hawaiian vacation with his girlfriend or with his significant other that moved so fast that it was before they defined the relationship. And they come up to the room, to the receptionist person. She's like, 1 room or 2, and one says 2, one says 1, and then they flip, and then they look at each other awkwardly, and it's a great commercial.
I did not see that
It's
commercial.
probably Capital One.
It sounds like a Capital One commercial.
But it's another one of those good things. Haha.
Destination Location also said, my dog will destroy his bed when we travel for too long. Under 2 weeks and the bed is fine. If it's more than 2 weeks, I know I just need to buy a dog bed on the way home. It's like that 2 week mark that that you're like, oh man, this is gonna be a rough one. The dog understands calendars. You got a smart one.
Yeah, Eric B. I would not be happy with kitten if I got a wet willy on my feet. I don't know what that means.
I don't know either, but I think we just got another super chat from Eric.
B.
So maybe he
this
can
is for
explain
my
it.
Minster shirt.
Oh, thank you. Okay,
All right,
I'm
now I've
ready.
got it.
I'm
Just
ready. Yay! Thank you for the super chat, and Derek's gonna open up Paint right after this and start designing that Minster shirt. I'm just kidding. We could probably make that happen.
We
It'll
could
be
make
a while.
Meanster shirts happen.
Yeah,
Totally
that
do
might be a good project for you to look into, because Derek set up the Smug Mug account for his photography, and I think we can set up pretty easily something similar for that, for like merch.
Not with them, but yeah. Peed in my boots. Ew. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to come home to that.
Yeah. Oh, it smells so bad. And it's, not
especially
sanitary.
cat urine is pretty. It has staying power. It kind of sticks around for a long,
For a legit
time.
second, I was like, "Is that how cats meow in the UK?"
Yes. So here's what happened. We found out that on MeTV, Memories TV, they actually do on the weekends, they'll do like a 3-hour Gilligan's Island marathon. They call it a 3-hour tour of Gilligan's Island. And we were watching it. I kept hearing like Mr. Howell's voice, the millionaire and his wife. Oh, yes, sweetie. Yes. And that's how. Then I thought the meow.
The millionaire.
And his wife.
Yeah.
All right, so
Australia and New Zealand, says Catherine Haggerty. Their borders are closed to the U.S. and international countries until May or June at the moment. That may change over time. Yeah, and I'm hoping that like once more people get, the vaccine and can prove at least that they've been vaccinated, hopefully things start to change. I would love to be able to go abroad in 2021.
Oh, so Ryan Donahue says, I think that was the JetBlue card. Yes, that's probably.
Oh, the commercial?
Yes. And destination location, Derek is watching too much TV.
He really is.
I'm not.
No, you're not.
I'm actually not watching hardly any TV.
No. And The Crown, like, we watch it on Netflix,
it's one of those things where, like, the TV is
on.
and then I'm, like, making lunch, and so then I see things.
Wait a minute.
Which I never would have seen.
That I completely forgot that Mark Walters started a new channel, which I read that email like yesterday, and I did not realize that we were talking to Mark Walters.
Mark Walters is destination location. What?
I thought we were talking to another new friend, but I am so pleased, and I put the pieces together because his super, super adorable dog Brig is pretty smart.
Yes, and big.
Yeah, Eliz's face on hoping for international travel this year is all of us. Yep. Yeah.
So Chris Frank says Qantas has a daily direct flight from DFW to Sydney. Not sure if it will return after Australia opens its borders back up. And Musings at Midlife says, how long is...
Oh,
I
sorry.
can't read.
Sorry, I was doing stuff.
How long is a direct flight from DFW to Sydney? I do not know, but quite long, I would think.
Yeah, the one from Chicago to Brisbane, which is probably pretty comparable, was like 19 hours. So probably somewhere between 17 and 19. Greetings from DFW, escaping the empty nest. Oh, we've got the Finleys on. Oh, I'm so excited now. We've got some great YouTube channels on here. Just want to shout out Travel Adventures with Eric B. I want to shout out Darion's Magnificent Germany with Darion. There's Big Wide World, Escaping the Empty Nest, Destination Locations, and so many more. I know I'm forgetting some. Sorry about that, guys. But yes, great stuff. Great travel crew happening right here.
Yep. Good stuff. So, Escaping the Empty Nest, which is the Mark Finley family. What is up? That's a great name, by the way. I think we said it the last time, but really fun.
Yeah. So, Escaping the Empty Nest and Destination Location. You guys came up with great options.
Yeah. And I also do love how... Sorry, Mark, maybe we weren't supposed to out you as Mark. Because I do... Destination Location is saying Mark's on stealth mode. LOL. Okay. So, let's see... Destination Locations, big hugs, everyone, especially to you two. Have to get the boys ready for bed. May hop on later afterwards. Big hugs.
Big hugs, but also I just want to say that we watched the
That was
two
so
videos.
adorable.
The one with
kids
Liam learning how to walk and the one with
across
Caleb
Europe.
and Rio. Oh my gosh.
Adorable.
And Derek's mom watched with us and she was like, oh.
So yeah, no, that was actually really funny because, especially Liam, I was like watching him like, oh my god,
Thanks, Professor Walters.
That looks like Liam. Like
it looks like
it's
Liam.
so funny. Like when you see like the baby and then like the actual kid, and you're like,
they were
pretty
so
funny.
cute.
And
now they're fun. Anyway, sorry, we're just hanging out with Professor Walters and Destination Location, having a great old time.
Yeah. Nick P says, I would go international in a heartbeat. But with the uncertainty of COVID restrictions, I can't get my hopes up. Minneapolis got a direct flight in 2019 to Dublin that probably will not come back. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Really? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hope maybe they'll at least come back seasonally.
Yeah.
In 2022, because Minneapolis is a Delta hub, and Delta often does seasonal trips to basically May to end of September to Shannon, Ireland, for example. So I'm sure there's going to be something along the lines with Dublin, at least in the next few years.
Escaping the Empty Nest to Mark is saying, are we going to see a Professor Christmas too?
That one's up next for sure. So we've kind of veered off of our list right now, and so the whole topic.
Sorry, Professor Christmas has now said, I can only do this so many times before Mrs. Claus gets a bit perturbed at me for not helping with the two elves. Tell Jocelyn, a.k.a. Mrs. Claus, that we say, we love you guys, and thank you so much for being here.
And tell her we say hi, and that leek and cauliflower soup looked really good. Focus, people.
That's great. Okay, so Nick
you.
P says the Minneapolis flight was Aer Lingus.
Oh,
not
okay.
Delta.
Okay, yeah, then that one, I'm not 100%. Will come back at least right away. But I mean, once people start traveling again, we're all dying to get to go anywhere. And Derek and I just went to Europe, so I can only imagine the folks who haven't been as recently as us just start itching.
We've only been back in the U.S. for 2 months.
Yeah, we've been back since December 7th.
Why are we in the
U.S.?
U.S.?
Can we leave again?
Yeah. France? Will France take us? France won't take us. But yeah, no. So we'll see what happens. But Harry Spark, did you get to see any of the new Royal Navy ships in Portsmouth?
Hi, Harry Spark. Welcome.
Hi there.
We saw them from a distance, unfortunately. And so we showed up at 4:45 to the Royal, what is it called? The Royal Navy Yard or something like that? Wherever the ships all are.
Well, he's talking about new ships, not old ships.
Oh.
So we did see some of the old dock ships, like the masted ships. Which was pretty cool. I don't think we saw any of the new Royal Navy ships, though. We did see a few kind of that were out, but we didn't see a whole lot.
We walked the entire harbor front, from Southsea to the all of the masted ships. I'm forgetting what that place exactly was called off the top of my head, but it was gorgeous. We had great weather. We were very much blessed with great weather, and I'm currently working on another travel vlog of one of our days in Portsmouth, where we do walk around the harbor and stuff like that. So that's actually likely going to be the next vlog that you guys see.
That should come out next week, I assume.
Yeah. Well, we're leaving Saturday, and it's not close to done. So
because they do take time.
These vlogs take me 2 to 3 full working days to do. So I would say if I can start it tomorrow, we have 3 full days of driving, so that's not going to get me. Yeah, hopefully next week. let's just say we're aiming for next week, and hopefully you guys can give it a thumbs up when it comes out.
Yeah. We're still playing around a little bit with what the release schedule is going to look like going forward with vlogs, because obviously once we leave on Saturday, we're going to start filming more vlogs of this trip and release some of our road trip US content.
Yep.
So it might become more of every other week will be England, and then every other week will be UK,
more recent, more US Utah,
stuff.
US, yeah.
So we already actually kind of have it planned out that we kind of want to shoot, maybe one vlog per day of us going to Tucson.
Yeah.
So,
So you guys
we'll
can
see.
see us like basically drive through like Nashville and Memphis and Little Rock and Dallas and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So we're not going to do a lot of stopping, but it'll be
So they
kind of
should-
cool.
Our hope is
to
that these
see
are
that.
shorter and a little bit more condensed for the trip down.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a little bit more, probably longer form like what you guys are used to from the UK trip for like exploring Tucson, exploring, different locations. So.
Yeah, and thank you, Harry. That actually, those words really mean a lot to me because I do put a lot of effort into it, and so just having somebody say that is really meaningful. Thank you.
Okay, we are on number 8, Lori, and thank you very much because we do need to get back to our list of things to do before we go on a long road trip.
Indeedy do.
So, to just, refresh everybody's memory, clean out your wallet, set the thermostats, arrange for somebody to do lawn care or shoveling if it's winter time, including also stop your mail or have a neighbor, kid, or somebody go and get it for you.
Stop your mail / your newspapers.
/ newspapers, yes. Do laundry and also then take out all the garbage, recycling, vacuum, dust, clean out the refrigerator of any perishable food, stuff like that. And also make sure you do the dishes because you don't want to come home to a sink full of dishes with scummy water. As a certain
Not
someone
at all.
did.
No.
So, that's what we've said already. So, what's the next one? Sorry. This one made me laugh earlier. But make sure that you have replacement batteries for any devices like car keys if you're doing a road trip. So, if you're doing...
It's because I wrote questionable devices because I meant to say...
devices
like devices
that might have batteries almost dead.
Yeah, might have batteries that are almost dead. But Derek's like, what are questionable devices?
Yeah, what are some questionable devices that you need new batteries for?
And it made total sense in my head as I was writing it down.
This sounds sketchy. But yeah, no. So for instance, car keys. That's a big one because especially if you have the keyless car, the one where it's just it needs a battery, otherwise the car won't start.
Yeah.
Those are important. You don't want to suddenly not be able to start your car and
or even
walk to the
getting
store.
the key out of some of those battery things is kind of a pain. So, but yeah, I just changed the batteries in our headlamps for hiking, which is something that most people would never think about. But funny enough, we actually brought our headlamps to the UK for hiking and stuff. And we ended up using them during a power outage.
Yeah, there's a big power outage when we were in the Torridon in the north butt of Scotland.
Yeah.
And to get down to the hotel to have our candlelit dinner, which was very nice. We had to have our headlamps on because you couldn't see worth a darn because there were no lights. But then it also has to do with, I like them for my noise canceling headphones too. Getting a nice fresh pair of batteries in there before you go, especially if you're flying, because you have all that white noise in the background, right, of the plane. And with the noise canceling headphones, you can hear better at a lower volume, so you're not just blasting your ears for hours and hours on end. So I think, make sure you have that fresh battery is always nice. A lot of the cases for those headphones will have a little slot for an extra battery. So I always put a brand new one in, even if I changed it fairly recently. Put a brand new one in, and I'll put a spare one as well, so that I know that I have it for the duration of my flights.
Yeah, just to give you guys kind of a sneak peek of what some of our stuff looks like. So we have tech carrying cases. Mine's blue, Derek's is gray, so we can tell the difference. But we just kind of stuff. This one's not packed yet for our trip. I'm packing it tomorrow. Usually it's packed to the gills, but this one's kind of stuffed with little batteries and stuff that we just squeeze into wherever they fit. So that way we don't have to buy batteries, especially if we're abroad, but even just on a road trip. It's hard to track them down sometimes.
That's really funny because Lori Sims had a number 8 that is very similar to ours. It has to do with batteries, which is I would suggest changing fire alarm batteries in the house before you leave if you have not been changed within 6 months. Because you don't want to come home late at night with that chirping.
Oh, the chirping.
So annoying.
Our smoke alarm would always chirp at 10:45 at night.
And 3 a.m.
And 3 a.m.
Yeah, it was
it was always at night. I don't understand why. And it would be in the basement too, was the one that was the chirpiest. And so then we'd have to get out of bed, go all the way to the basement.
Mark is saying white noise equals Eliz asking Derek to give her the flight pillow he stole. How'd you know, Mark? No, yeah, maybe. No, but usually
Derek loves to steal the window.
I'm the pillow. I'm on the window so that she can lean on me. Because let's just say
we're both window people.
I'm not a giant dude, but I'm much bigger than her, and so like me laying on her, I always feel bad. So I'm always like trying not to lay on her too much, whereas she can just like kind of like collapse on me, and I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable, but I guess I'm more comfortable than if you were sleeping on top of me.
Yeah, you wouldn't like that. Nick D put questionable luggage devices in luggage, not carry on, as you don't want to make the TSA blush.
Yeah, like what are questionable devices?
I think Nick D's mind went exactly where mine went. Escaping the emptiness. This is amazing. I'm going to have to cancel my city after I get the 50K and then go get the 60K. What is the 60K?
Ooh, there must be 60,000 miles.
Oh, there it is. Chris Frank is saying, I think
saying.
the AS Barclay card can be applied for on flight or with an application received on a flight.
I think somebody else had said something about mileage as well, but maybe I missed it. Yeah, Megan Morris said you can sign up for the AA Barclays and get 60,000 miles with one purchase. So then you will have 110,000 miles. That's
cool.
That's awesome. Because like when I signed up for the American Airlines credit card, for example, I had to spend I think like $3,000 in the first X number of months in order to get 60,000 miles. So just doing it with one purchase is a total game changer.
Huge. Well, I did that. I actually did that with our wedding.
I did that with when I moved from Chicago to New York. I signed up for a card because I knew that there would be like extra moving expenses and stuff.
Yeah, with our wedding, I actually did that where I had a bunch of credit cards that we had taken out because I was looking to kind of travel hack our honeymoon a little bit. And then it was one of these things where I could actually get like diamond status at Hilton with like spend on the card.
Griswold
so I was like,
family vacation.
let's just put it on the credit card and then we'll pay off the credit card. So that was cool. Griswold family vacation. Danny, hello. Danny
Welcome.
in the house.
Thanks for joining. And Purdue is on too.
Purdue. Long
Purdue
time no see.
is voting for meanies instead of meansters.
All right, the meanies and the meansters. It's like the Jets and the Sharks.
I gotta warm up to it still. I feel like it's like that Taylor Swift song, Why You Gotta Be So Mean.
Thanks, Mark. I am swole. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So Chris Frank is saying the reason
Bonnie's
AA
on.
has two...
Hi, Bonnie. Welcome.
So the reason that American Airlines has two banks is due to their purchase of U.S. Air. Barclays with U.S. Air. Was it U.S. Air's bank?
Oh, nice.
I'm surprised they haven't collapsed that yet because that was a while ago.
That's cool that they're doing that. Do not keep your extra batteries in a sock. TSA will consider it a threat.
That's funny. Walter's World, look into the restrictions on how many miles you can get for free. I know back in the day, I had to wait to get my second Delta card in order to make sure I got the 60K MQM. Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of them have like a 1 year break in between where it's like after you apply for a card and then you cancel that card, between canceling it and getting the thing back again, it's a year. Some of them actually say it's a one-time, lifetime only thing where like if you then get the card again later, you don't get the sign-up bonus no matter what. So yeah, definitely look into that before you start canceling cards and whatnot because you don't want to take a hit to your credit.
Yeah. Megan says she's gone round trip to Europe for 30,000 miles on Delta a few times. I love when you can find those like amazing deals with miles and stuff. Mm-hmm. It must have been one of those like web only, flash discount things. That's a great deal.
Yeah, and especially if you don't mind flying like economy for long flights and everything, you can actually get some really great redemptions. And right now we've seen some pretty good redemptions, which is why we flew first class from Europe back here. Mm-hmm. Was that the redemption rate was so much better than I had ever seen it before that we're like, well, this is like the one time we'd be willing to spend the number of points it would take to do it, that we just said YOLO and we did it. But yeah, look out for good redemptions, and you can still get some pretty good ones today.
Yeah.
And, it's not only that, but, like, if you're looking at credit cards that you like to use, I like the Chase and the Amex because they are so versatile in where you can send those points to, so...
We also started making... I don't know if you guys are like me. I love the Notes app and Evernote in my phone. I kind of switch back and forth between the two, but I put a little note in my phone this year that's like 2021 credit card points, and I just went through all of our travel credit cards kind of like one by one and wrote down what the different benefits are. Like certain ones we get, 3 times points at grocery stores or 2 times points at gas stations and stuff. And I just made notes about that. So that way I can do like a quick reference when I'm out and about. Because I'm pretty much always going to have my phone. And I can say, okay, this is where I should use the Amex Platinum. Yeah. This is where I should use the Chase Reserve. Yeah. And so like, it's just so much easier than just trying to remember it. Because I mean, a lot of them changed last year, first of all, in 2020. Like, yeah. New.
Well, a lot of them got like brand
happened.
New benefits and things
Yeah.
like that. In order to like try to, especially the ones that really relied on travel to be like what made them good. So basically the Amex Platinum as well as the Chase Sapphire Reserve, but those added a bunch of other things like streaming services and stuff that you can get credits on and whatnot as a way to kind of entice people to keep the card around because they're expensive. They have a really high annual fee, and they need to make it worth it to the consumer. So
yeah, and Eric B says if he ever gets married, he's definitely travel hacking his honeymoon. Absolutely. Derek can talk to you about how he did it. Of course, that was back in 2016, 2017. But there's so many resources out there now that talk about. There's like the Points Guy, Nerd Wallet, Kara and Nate even blog about it sometimes on their site.
I'm actually a big fan of the Points Guy.
You are.
Yeah. I don't know that he owns the site anymore. I think he might have sold, but going through his stuff, I really like his like point valuations. I like his methodology, and I use that as a way to figure out like, okay, so if we're gonna get 6 times points on a Hilton, or we're only gonna get 2 times points from Chase, like which one's better? 2 points from Chase, 6 from Hilton. And typically I would say I'd rather have the Chase because I want the freedom to either use it on an airline, at a hotel, or whatever.
Right.
And so, that's just the kind of things that, I really enjoy. And I've gone through his methodology in the past, and I feel pretty confident with it. So I feel good just kind of like taking his numbers almost like as like gospel when I look at things.
Yeah.
Why are you going all the way up?
I just wanted to, because I skipped this before, I just wanted to say thank you to Kim M too. You said it's watching our vlogs is like watching a travel show, and they're lovely. So thank you so much. That like literally just means a lot to hear from all of you guys.
I'm purposefully not watching any Rick Steves because I don't want to like try to imitate him too much when I'm doing like my like history chats.
You were so history centric in the last video that we just we published one about our
Portchester
day
and Winchester
at Portchester Castle and in Winchester, and Derek's like dropping all these history knowledge left and right. It was great.
Some of it might have been wrong. I don't know.
No, maybe.
Maybe.
No.
All right, so Walter's World. Mark is saying, look into the restrictions on how many miles you can get for free. No, back in the day, yep. Okay, so we already read that one.
Sorry, because I had gone backwards.
Yep. So Ryan Donahue is saying you can only get the Amex sign up once in a lifetime, is what he's heard. Yep. I think that might be right. Eric B, if I ever get married, definitely travel hacking my honeymoon.
Yeah, I already said
it's
that.
Definitely smart. Ryan Donahue, and Chase has a 24 or 48 month waiting period. Yes. And what I love about Chase is they have an entire ecosystem of cards that you can get. If you want multiple cards, you can get the Unlimited that gives you like 1.5 times points. You can get the Freedom, which has their bonus 5 times point categories, and then you can get like the Reserve or the Preferred, which will much better for like travel. And you can kind of like game the system that way, get different like sign-on bonuses, so you can get a pretty massive chunk of Chase points pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Mark Walters saying, I got it on 2 different ones, but they were 3 years apart. Not sure how the rules are now. Yep. Skipping the empty nest. We need to double check. My offer said $2,500. But either way, we'll blow past it by a mile. Terry is having cataract surgery next month, and we're going to put it on the card.
Oh, yeah.
Terry, good luck. Hopefully it goes very, very smoothly, and
Yeah.
you'll be in our thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, we'll be thinking of you, but I'm glad that you're able to get some travel points from going through that.
Yeah. Eric B is saying the 60K is peak season miles, but 50K in September, October is what I'm thinking, so he's going to check Delta out.
Awesome.
Nice. Walters, I think if you get more expensive card, they give it to you. Okay, like those $650 a year fees, I am like, no thanks. That is beyond what I will get out of it with benefits.
Yeah, and it depends person by person. Like when Derek was traveling all the time, and I was also kind of traveling a lot, we calculated that we would just like even with the food that we would get through the free lounge access and stuff would be worth one of those higher spends. So it kind of depends on how frequently you're at an airport and using all the benefits in like your day-to-day life.
Yeah. Yeah, so Katie Smith says, my husband needs a no foreign transaction fee card. What do you recommend? Sorry, I think I missed it. No foreign transaction fees. So
there's a lot of options.
There's a lot of options. The higher end ones are going to be your Amex Platinums and your Chase Sapphire Reserve or Preferred. I think both of those have 0 transaction fees. Foreign.
If he has a favorite airline, almost all cards that focus a little bit more into travel benefits, such as like the Delta cards, the American Airlines cards, that sort of thing, all of those, for the most part, have no foreign transaction fees. So there's definitely, because we just don't, there's a lot of pushes and pulls on this one, a lot of variables. Like, we don't want to say for certain what the right one is for his circumstance, but you can definitely find online resources. I think NerdWallet publishes a lot of those too. Like, here are the top 10 no foreign transaction fee credit cards in 2021.
And there's going to be some that could even be very low fee. So, depending on what you're looking for, definitely check it out. Check out all the bonuses and the categories and whatnot, so you can understand, where you're likely to make points, what you would actually use the points for. I think that's important as well. Like, for instance, Chase and Amex, those have different airlines that they're partners with. So looking at, what airlines do you like to fly, or would you fly? Do they fly out of your local airport? Those are pretty important.
And let me piggyback. So we don't use Charles Schwab so much anymore, but we both, from when Derek's brother worked there, have checking accounts there. And if you have a debit card with Charles Schwab through a checking account, then your debit card has no foreign transaction fees and stuff too. So that's a great bank to use if you travel a lot, because a lot of their accounts and cards and stuff like that don't have the foreign transaction.
Yeah. Yeah, Purdue is saying that he has the Amex card for foreign exchange fees. And that's another thing about the foreign exchange fees is actually make sure that you don't get tripped up when you're doing your paying for hotels in foreign countries where they might ask you if you want it converted into USD.
Yeah.
Don't do that. They're almost always going to charge you a massive premium over what the stated rate would be if you just use a credit card and paid in local currency, as long as there's no foreign transaction fees. So if you do have a no foreign exchange fee card, it's always going to be cheaper to go into the local currency than whatever they're going to charge you. So don't do that.
Quick shout out, because we were just adding these things on today. So if you have an Amex and you log in through the app or through the online portal, they have all these deals that are offered like for a few months or something like that, but you have to add them to your card. And we have saved like hundreds of dollars by doing that. And for example, just this month, a deal for Marriott hotels got added. So if you spend $200 at a Marriott hotel and you have an Amex Platinum card, then you get $50 back. So that in itself can be really great if you're planning on traveling anytime soon. What's up?
All right, Nick Barnett. What's up, Nick?
Hi, Nick Barnett.
So we got Nick B. We got Nick D.
I think Nick P might still be on, but
Nick
we're not
P
sure.
might be on. I don't know.
We don't know if we have the trifecta.
I don't know if
yet.
we have all three Nicks. But hello. Okay, let's
So
see.
we're still going through a list. We've kind of gone off onto
A bit of a tangent on credit cards.
but we're here for travel Q&A.
Yeah.
If this is what you guys want to hear from us, we are happy to talk about that.
And Escaping the Empty Nest is saying that Darion will be in Texas on Tuesday. And he's going to show him around a little bit. That'll be fun. You two will have a blast, I'm sure.
So technically, we'll be in Texas very, very quickly.
For a very short
basically on Sunday, and like during the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So.
Whoops.
Yeah, we're basically just gonna be like driving.
Yeah,
trying to speed to our hotel so we can catch the end of the game at least.
Yeah, that would be really nice if we could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, Megan Morris, I love Amex, but they aren't accepted everywhere, which is definitely true, especially in places like Europe and, maybe, I feel like we'd never had much luck with Amex in Latin America unless you are at one of, like, the major hotels.
Yeah, it's great in America, for example, but, there's definitely a lot of places that don't accept it in Europe, and you have to take a second form of payment. You should not just travel with an Amex to Europe.
Purdue says, my brain can't wrap around what to do with points. I have like 1 billion Hilton Honors points, but no idea what to do with them. Yeah, so my recommendation, I like to do...
Wait, sorry, just interrupt really quick. Just make sure your Hilton Honors points, but it might be back. It says reconnection successful now. Okay. Sorry if we just cut out there for a second. I think we're okay, though. But anyway, so I was just saying, with all of those points things, just make sure your passwords are super secure. Don't use, like, really easy to crack passwords because Derek lucked out that...
I didn't have a really easy to crack password.
No, that's true. But like,
password 123 is not easy, people. I'm just kidding.
But still, like, you had the misfortune of somebody hacking into your Hilton account and then transferring the points over to buy things on Amazon, yeah. Which is, of course, a terrible redemption.
It's
but
terrible
also
redemption,
it's like
but it was thousands of dollars.
Stolen things.
Thousands of dollars.
Thankfully, you got it back, but like it was such a headache.
Yeah,
this was several years ago, but it was horrible. You had to make so many phone calls. It took months for him to get the points back.
It took about a month probably to get them back, which kind of stunk. Chris Frank, I have a Marriott card, Chase United, and the Barclays American Airlines. They all have no foreign transaction fees. Very cool. Escaping the Empty Nest, telling Purdue to book hotels. And that's what I was going to say. So, Purdue, what to do with them? Yeah, book hotels. And what I like to do is I like to go to, like, the Points Guy or somebody like that and find their list of, like, the best redemption deals and find those, 4 or 5 star type hotels that you can get really good bang for your buck and see if you can kind of almost design a trip around those redemptions. I find that to be, you can usually find articles about, like, where are the best places to use your, like, free night stay passes, where maybe you just took out a Hyatt card or something like that, and, sometimes they'll say after your first month, if you spend X amount of money, and then annually thereafter, after you spend a certain amount of money, you get a free night to redeem at any of their places. Up to a certain level, because each one of these has different scales, 1 to 5, 1 to 10, whatever, and they'll say you can book a free night at those places. We did that. We stayed at the Waldorf Astoria in London one time with a free night redemption. At Hilton, we've done it with Hyatt before. I really wanted to do it at the Waldorf in Amsterdam because I thought that'd be really cool. It's a beautiful looking hotel.
That would have been really cool.
But we just couldn't justify going there before we lost the night. So, there's a lot of things you can do with those. I like looking those up, though, and seeing, like, what do other people say have some of the best redemption rates. It just gives me ideas. A lot of times they'll talk about, like, Kuala Lumpur has some, like, really nice hotels that tend to be fairly cheap on the redemption rate, so you can get really good bang for your buck there. But, just start dreaming. Just start dreaming, and you can figure out some cool vacations. It's really
Absolutely.
nice. And if you can't find like a destination, find some weekend trips that you don't mind doing. Just use them.
Yeah.
They're not there to just be stored up.
Should we go into our list more, or what do you think? Oh, my mom says she likes hearing your history commentary.
Oh, that's so nice. All right, we're not caught up even
Oh
almost.
gosh, not even close. Sorry.
Let me. Why don't you read the next one? I'm going to read through the comments to identify some comments. To go
Should I
through.
just go from the top here?
You can do that one if you want. That's like right before you go leave, or as you're leaving. Immune system,
Well, I did
people.
it today. Okay, so like strengthen your immune system is the summary of this one. Because regardless of whether you're going to be on an airplane or just traveling to a new place,
Driving 10 hours a day for 3 days.
driving for a long time, you're going to be exposed to new things. And so take vitamin C and zinc probably within the few days before you leave, just to be safe. So that way you enter with a really good immune system into your trip. And then I also, because like on airplanes and in the car, you get all of this air just shooting at your face all day. I like to do a neti pot. Like, I know that some people think that they sound gross, but they actually are very effective, especially if you have any sort of sinus stuffiness ever.
I remember you did not want to try neti pots.
I didn't. I was like, that.
I bought them, and
that
I was
looks
like, this is
horrible.
great.
I was like,
It's a weird feeling.
Yeah, I was terrified to try them, but now I use them before.
I highly recommend, if you're going to use it though, before you use it, Google how to do it, and like watch somebody go through the process, and it'll give you a lot of good tips. Like keep your mouth open. You want the air to like circulate and everything, because you don't want to just get stuck up there.
And you also like need to do it right, or else. If you don't mix up the saline and stuff enough, like your eyes might start kind of burning.
So for those who don't know, neti pots are a thing that people have been doing for a long, long time, where you mix a saline solution into sterilized water, warm it up to like
distilled
body temperature.
water
It's
or
like
sterilized,
to body temperature, and then you put it up one nostril, and it goes up and then through, and what it does is it cleans out the sinuses and makes it so you can breathe better. If you're having like bad colds, or
if you're prone to sinus infection,
a lot of stuffiness, these can be really helpful and really great. And yeah, they help a lot.
They especially right before flying, right before going anywhere super dry.
Or while you're at a place that's super dry.
Yeah, that too. I mean, yeah.
So Nick Barnett asks, are you ready for the road trip? Getting there.
Yeah, we're ready when it comes to like making lists and stuff, and we're gonna be packing everything into the car tomorrow. So getting there. We're leaving Saturday morning.
Yep. Mike Martinez, welcome, Mike.
Hi, Mike. Welcome.
What's up?
Thanks for joining.
The weekend is upon us, yes, and our weekend is gonna be full of driving.
Yeah,
Excuse me, sorry, guys.
It's a little bit less like on the Super Bowl side of activities and more on the long drive.
We have 3 days of like 10 plus hours of driving each day, and it's going to be long. I'm already tired just thinking about it, but we're going to be filming. We're going to bring you a bunch of good, hopefully quality content. Hopefully no more tow trucks in our future.
Hopefully.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, we signed up for AAA.
We signed up for AAA, so just in case we need it. But yeah, we'll see. We're hopefully ready. And Lori Sims says that she loads up on water, which brings us to another one, which was hydrate. Which is exactly as it says, hydrate. Drink lots of water the days leading up, especially if you're flying, especially if you're doing a long flight, going onto a long trip, because you're going to dry out in those anyways, and you want to make sure that your body has lots of water in it.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Catherine. You're so sweet. All of you guys. Saying I have to second that. Agree with both of you. Eliz would be fantastic covering all aspects of travel. Loved watching travel shows by Rick Steves, Rudy Maxa, and Samantha Brown.
Loved all of them, actually.
You are a girl after my own heart.
Rudy Maxa?
Yes. So Rudy Maxa was at one of the travel shows that we went to too. But
he looks so different.
He does. But I've been watching all of those shows for eons. I mean, I remember, so my best friend, who's a flight attendant, she and I were roommates in the sorority, and she and I would watch Passport to Europe with Samantha Brown in our sorority room together. I've been watching Rick Steves since the 90s with my parents. Rudy Maxa. I actually discovered Rudy Maxa's shows
in New York.
When we lived in New York. Yeah, so
Rudy Maxa, he's the one who always ends it with that
No, that's Joseph Rosendo, which is
Joseph
also
Rosendo. I like
really
him
good.
too. He's great.
Yeah.
Remember, travel is something to bigotry and narrow-mindedness.
And then Globetrotters, they do a pretty good job as well. But all those shows are so great. I miss when TV had like a lot of travel shows on it. Yeah, never suppress your inner Rick Steves or Mark Walters. That's that's our motto, really. We're hoping that you guys are loving, especially. I feel like Derek has a really good voice for talking about history on our voiceovers, so I try to bring him in for all of those. Although once he actually has to like go back to an office again, I might have to start taking over on those.
I don't know. I could always just, lunch break, record them onto my phone.
That's
and shoot
true.
them to
You could like text it to me.
Here you go.
You just have like a microphone.
Like in an office with the door shut. Do not disturb.
Portchester Castle was built.
Future employers. Okay, so Purdue says lounge access, food, etc. pay for itself with my automatic Hilton Gold. No confusion on that benefit. Yeah. Especially if you can get the business travel lounge access at Hilton can be super beneficial. And Nick D says Budweiser gives you pints back.
Lols.
So funny. Nick Barnett, say no to foreign transaction or annual credit card fees. I agree.
If you can find something that doesn't have an annual fee and has no foreign transaction fees, that is like a gold star.
Eric B says Southwest Airlines cards actually do have foreign transaction fees.
Oh no!
And somebody says that's probably because they're a domestic airline.
Yeah, but they do fly to Mexico. That stinks.
Yeah. Catherine Hegarty, I love history too, Derek. I enjoyed last week's vlog. That long walk around the castle did not deter you from looking for the entrance.
Okay, so I sped it up to like 20 times speed. Just so you guys know, that was like a 20-minute walk around the castle. It was, and I think I cut part of it too. Well, it was kind of both of our faults because I did. So we parked, and then and then we went over that bridge that you guys all saw. That I couldn't tell if it was over a moat or not because I'm an absolute idiot.
Hey, no, you're not.
Oh, thanks. But that was definitely a moment. But then you could either walk one direction or another. And all these people were walking towards the water. So we're like, it must be over there.
Yeah, we're like, oh, it was obviously over that way.
It was not.
It was not. That was the opposite direction.
They were just like out for a walk.
But at the end of the day, we get to go for a really nice walk around the castle with really nice views.
We
on
secured
the
perimeter.
It was very nice. Like PG.
Secured the perimeter.
Yeah, no. So it's one of those things where you can still have fun even if you take a wrong turn, like in Albuquerque.
Wait, password 123 is not secure. I guess I'll change it to.
What about a capital P?
But we're totally serious. Learn from our mistakes. It happens. Protect your miles.
Okay, I never used password 123.
No.
I've never used anything like that.
No, you didn't.
And actually, I don't even know what happened, but
anything could have happened. Yeah.
All right, so we had some buffering that happened. We came back. Of course, drops out on the Hilton advice. Oh no.
No.
Buffering.
I hope that you heard what Derek said about the Hilton advice. Basically, he said use it to book some cool Hilton hotels. Oh my gosh, we're so far behind. Let's get it. Let's get it.
All right, let's get back quick. Okay. Read the next one while I find it.
Okay. The next one is, oh shoot, I didn't check off the other one. Can you hand me the pen?
Purdue says, went to Maui and had a nice resort. Could not use free nights, and I ended up letting them expire. The resort was full. Oh, that's a bummer, bud.
That's no good.
And Thomas Roger says he usually uses his points in London.
Yeah.
That's a great place to do it because they are pretty expensive. London's a place with very expensive on hotels. No matter what, they are expensive. So that's a great place to do it. And if you're one of those, if you only do like one big trip a year, use your points on that trip. Just use them all and then accumulate and use them on the next year. Just do it.
Sorry, I'm skipping for 1 second because the Finleys, Escaping the Empty Nest, say that they're addicted to finding Hyatts that have free nights for 5,000 to 8,000 points. Totally. Those are great redemption rates for sure, and there's Hyatts almost everywhere.
Nick D, I have to admit that when a website said that the password had to be 10 characters, I made the password 10 characters. That's really funny, actually. So, Katie Smith is saving her Hilton points to do a trip to Tahiti one day,
Nice.
which is her dream trip.
I think there's a really nice Hilton property there, if I'm remembering correctly.
I hear Tahiti is beautiful.
I've heard great things.
Yes. Lori Sims, I am using my parents' Marriott timeshare points / time for a trip
to Hawaii, the Big Island.
To Hawaii, the Big Island in the spring. That's so cool.
Yay!
That's awesome.
That's great that they're able to share that with you too.
And Nick Barnett uses Hyatt Free Night Redemption in Istanbul once back in 2015. It was enjoyable.
Love that.
That's neat. We used it. We used our Hyatt Free Night Redemption at the Palacio do Jau in
Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires, which was a good,
beautiful hotel.
Great
that was
use
our
of
honeymoon.
Points. That was our honeymoon. Great use of points. They didn't move us out of our room. Even though like technically we shouldn't have stayed in that room, they kept us in the very nice room. So
really?
it was awesome. Yeah.
Was it a mistake?
No, they're like it's more of a hassle to move them and clean rooms.
Oh, yeah.
So that's actually good. That's a good thing. Like if you put like the free night in between paid nights, they might keep you in the room because it's like more of a hassle to have the cleaning staff go in, clean the rooms, ready them for the next guests, than it is just to keep you in the place.
That is
pro tip.
That is a pro tip. Okay, so just to re-explain that, because for everybody, when you're booking, book the what is it, the points, the night on points in the middle of your stay. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Is what you're saying? So that way they might just give you the nicer room the whole time.
What's the next one? Lori Sims wants to know.
Oh, and Lori's keeping track. Thank you. I don't know what we're on now. So thank you for keeping a tally. So the next one to do before a long trip is to scan copies of any paperwork that you might need during your trip. So for us, that meant certain like tax forms because we might actually be gone.
We'll be doing taxes while we're gone.
Yeah,
so.
We might be gone until like early April, and so we just want to get this going and done. Most of you guys probably wouldn't have that same issue, but if there's like
any other time of the year, not an issue.
You know, I always bring with me paperwork that says our itinerary on it. And then you can digitize a lot of things that
TripIt. TripIt is a phenomenal app to use in order to kind of keep all of your stuff, all your paperwork organized around like your itinerary with like hotel stays and all that stuff. So basically the way it works is you get your like confirmation emails in for like hotels or airlines, etc. And you literally then just have to take that email, forward it to plans@tripit.com, and after you've already set up a thing and said what your email address is that they'll be coming in from, it'll then take that confirmation info. It knows what all these like airlines and hotels, how they're set up, so it'll then scan the information and bring it into your itinerary for a trip. So that it'll like kind of like list it all out, and then you can actually access all of your information.
Yeah.
So that's a great tool to use if you want to keep all your stuff handy electronically. Now you do need to have internet access, I think, to get access to all that information
for
when you're
TripIt.
TripIt.
If you port it to your calendar, a lot of the information ports directly into your phone's calendar. So you wouldn't need it. But if you need like paperwork, for example, I would save it. Okay, so I can only speak to iPhones because that's what we have right now. But there's like a files section in your iPhone that you can save PDFs to, and it saves it either on your phone or into the cloud. If you select on your phone, it's going to be on your phone no matter whether you have Wi-Fi or not. So if it's something that's really important that you need to have access to, an example being when we went to Wales several years ago, I downloaded PDFs of the bus schedule that we could use whenever we were traveling, around to different destinations throughout the day. So that way I could have the bus schedule on my phone. So I hope that is helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, and but another thing, right, is it's not just those things, but it's also making sure that if you need to like digitize something around insurance, around travel insurance, around AAA, or whatever it is, like making sure that you have digital copies of all this stuff, super important. And in this day and age, it's really not necessary to carry around a bunch of paperwork like that. So
Yeah.
something to think about. Megan Morris is saying red grapes, dark chocolate, and green tea are promising for boosting immunity.
That is so true. All of those things. Also, red wine. All of those items have antioxidants in them, so they really help with prevent, like your immune system.
They prevent your immune system.
They help with your immune system.
Nick Barnett is saying that if you wear contacts, bring contact-free wedding drops, regardless of mode of travel. If it's a long day. Thank you. I wear contacts, so I will definitely.
Have you ever had those? I've never even heard of them.
No, I just use solution. What I'll do is I'll just take them out, rinse them, and then put them back in if I need them. But yeah, no, actually having access to that though on the road is important because, as the primary driver, which I tend to be the primary driver when we go on long trips, having contact solution on hand would actually be super helpful in case we do, like, something were to happen. If I then have to pull off the side of the road, to not have to get out of the car and be able to actually have access, that's actually a great tip.
Idea. Yeah.
So thanks.
Thanks for mentioning that.
So,
and also, you should probably have your glasses up front too.
Purdue is saying neti pots, just be careful on temperature.
Yes.
You don't want it too cold or too hot, and don't use tap water because of brain-eating amoeba.
Yep, all
of the above. Don't
if you're doing this,
do it right.
Watch, learn, do all the things. It's worth it. It's just don't. Yeah, there's ways to do it very wrong.
Yep. Using some midlife says neti pots are great during allergy season.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. And you never know where you're gonna have allergies. I definitely get allergies in England in the springtime. I'm allergic to something there. We don't know what it is. So it's nice to just clear your sinuses before a trip.
Yep. And Nick B is saying sinus rinse is def good if you're prone to sinus congestion.
Yeah. Even
when not traveling, I occasionally do one. Def helps. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
And if you're in a new place that maybe you don't have issues with allergies where you live, but you go to a place that you suddenly find yourself with tons of allergies, and so you've never used a neti pot, and neti pot can be helpful, so just going to a drugstore, picking one up. They're not that expensive. They can provide quite a bit of relief.
I think you can buy them for $12, and then you're going to need access to a way to sanitize the water that you use, or
so either you have to
distilled
boil,
water.
Yeah. So either buy distilled water to use, and then microwave it for a little bit to get it to body temp, or then you can also boil water. I think you have to boil it for 10 to 15 minutes though to make sure you're killing bacteria. I googled this. I'm not a doctor. This is my
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor. Do not take my advice.
Consult your doctor before doing anything.
Google it. I don't know. But yeah, no, it's helpful. Nick B, awesome. Good luck with the content. Purdue, my year-old once sneezed and popped out a green bean.
Oh.
Green bean, I mean, it's just so fun. They just fit right up there.
Yuck.
All right, Nick B, yes, good to have AAA. Find the next one.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, next one is to make sure you set in your email you're out of office, whether it's for personal or for work, if you're going to be gone for a while, or like us, we're going to be on the road for a while. So if you're up in the air for a long haul flight, or you're in a road trip for a long time, or you're going to be out of service, and people are trying to reach you, sometimes it's just nice to let them know, hey, I am currently in transit, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible.
So Thomas Reiser uses AAA for maps and books. Yep, that's a great thing to use your AAA for. Always look at your discounts, savings, and things like that. If you do sign up for AAA, make sure you're taking full advantage of that, because you can get roadside assistance with other programs. So if you are paying kind of that premium for AAA, make sure you're actually getting all the benefit, right? So discounts on car washes or oil changes or
hotels.
Things like that, hotels, make sure you're getting bang for your buck.
But books is a great one. Maps, I think, even with certain AAA
Apps are free.
accounts. Yeah, you can get them for free or like up to 10 free per year or something.
Yeah. Lori Sims says she likes Euro Trotter.
Euro Trotter. Yes, I've seen that too. That's great.
Nick Burnett's watched Rick Steves on PBS. That's great.
Nice. Me too.
Purdue says I attended a joint Little 500 party with AXO sorority at IU
AKO. Nice.
Yes, I said AXO. AKO.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yep. Yeah, Little 500 was pretty awesome. If you guys haven't heard of it, it is
It's
the
a
biggest
party
weekend of the year at Indiana University. It is very, very well known college party weekend. It is a bike race, which I know sounds kind of weird, but there's a lot of events surrounding it and a lot of fraternity sorority pairing parties. You know, we both were in the Greek system at Indiana University and had a great time.
She was in a fraternity. I was in a sorority. I'm just kidding.
Reversed.
Fraternity sorority.
Yeah, I remember going to your frat house senior year for Little 500, and like it was several of his brothers and several of my sisters, and like some of them were dating as well. Like Derek and I were dating, and we just like locked the door. We're like, we don't want to hang out with the other people at this party. We just want to hang out with us. We're about to graduate. We're done.
Yeah, we had a good time. Iggy Manana, good night, buenas noches. I think we missed you already because we are
Buenas
way
noches,
behind
hasta
the chat.
luego.
We're trying to get.
Hasta la
there.
próxima semana.
Catherine Haggerty, I usually use Evian facial spray water and a hydrating facial mask before arriving at my destination long haul flights.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
It's
Those are really nice. They're,
Actually,
like,
so with drinking water, I also recommend before you go on a big trip, like doing like a face mask and stuff.
Yep.
Especially a hydrating face mask, as well as a lot of lotion on your hands and just all like the day before a flight, I'll just start like I'll lather up,
and
especially
even
after
like
the showers
get it
and
into
stuff.
your cuticles and stuff.
Yeah, super important.
But hydrate's actually on the list. And so another
Yeah, we
thing
already
to
talked
do
about it.
is to drink a lot of water and all that stuff.
Yep, all right, Catherine. Yeah, Joseph Rosendo. Travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness. Yep.
Yeah, Mark Twain.
Yep. Nick Barnett. London is nuts. Hardest city for me. Often super low hotel accommodation budget that I've been to. Yep.
Yeah. We were so lucky when we spent the night at a hotel in London in October because of the pandemic. And it was before lockdown, so the hotels were all still open. But there was nobody staying at them, so we got a very, very reasonable rate compared to what London is. Like, my experience with London is that you're going to pay like $300 if you're going during summertime or something like that, or even October.
We stayed at the Hilton by Tower
Bridge.
Bridge for like under £100 a night.
Yeah, I think it was like 89 pounds a night.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. Purdue, yes, that's where my mind went to with Tahiti as well. It's magical. Yes, Agent Coulson. Very, very, very fun reference.
Hyatt is one of the only chains you can get free nights without a credit card. I have status without the card, Eric B says. That is
very cool.
That is awesome. I didn't know that.
So all hotels I am booking in September and October have a minimum of 24 hours to clean before rebooking. Lori Sims. Oh, that's nice. So they are going to be empty for at least 24 hours before somebody else comes in.
I love
which
that.
is super important because, you know, there's that, like, how long does it live
And if it's, like, airborne. Because,
yeah.
you know, like, somebody might have checked out, but then there's the staff turning over the room in there. So they might have actually been in there a lot more recently.
Yep. So Catherine Haggerty, heads up, Australia and New Zealand are very expensive, including the flights. Yes, yes. It is definitely a place that you need to budget for. Purdue, sometimes in airports, flights, delays, cancels are notified to me through TripIt before any other means.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty intense.
That's never happened to me with TripIt, and I use it a lot, but I could see that happening. But I think it's because I always have the like American Airlines app and Delta app on my phone, so that's the one that pings me the fastest usually.
Yeah. So Lori Sims says number 10 for her is keeping her paper copy of all her tours, hotels, and flights in her backpack just in case.
Yep.
Passport copy as well. Yes, and those are other things that, like, if you have a secure cloud storage, thing, you can keep things like that backed up to the cloud as well.
For
which
the
can be helpful as well.
passport copy, since it does have personal identifiable information on there, I would not have a photocopy of it in your backpack for safety reasons, but definitely in cloud storage. Or another way that
It's
I've
shielded
heard,
by passwords and things like that, obviously.
another thing that I've heard is like maybe you'll print out that copy, but you will give it to a close friend or family member to keep while you're on your trip. So that way, if you do need a copy, like say your passport got stolen and you need a copy of it, then that person can be like your first call or email and say, hey, can you send that to me? I need it now. So that way it's just a little bit more secure as well.
Yep. Nick D says that Australia is kind of expensive, but you can save by going off season.
Yeah.
They stay at the Four Seasons at a quarter of the price by going in September. Beautiful view of the Opera House.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful. And of course, Megan Morris, right after that, says that she didn't find Australia to be that pricey. Plane tickets were $1,200 round trip from Cincinnati, U.S. to Sydney. Four Seasons Sydney was only $220 per night. Would have been $500 plus in the U.S.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
and Nick D then says that
Seasons is a
Megan
great
does the
hotel.
finances.
She's a little closer.
That's funny.
A little closer to the dollars.
Purdue says another neat thing. Wife just drove 10 hours last weekend. She uses Waze to navigate, and it can share her location. And I can see while she's driving alone.
Oh,
That's
great.
actually that's great, and that's a good function to have, so you kind of know where people are in case you're nervous.
That's a great tip. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because back when I didn't have, now I have unlimited data, but back when I didn't have it, I would never want to share my location with people because then it would be, constantly pinging my phone about where I am, and it would just use up a lot of data really quick. But hopefully Waze is like, it's tracking through the app, so you can track them.
What's the next?
The next one, oh, wait, I didn't check this one off. Okay, we only have 3 more. We're getting through. Okay, so the next one is to make a checklist the day before you leave for those items that you very frequently forget to pack kind of like last minute on the morning of. So for us, might be different for you, but for us, it's like phone chargers, maybe your toothbrush because you're kind of in like autopilot mode and you put it back instead of put it in your suitcase. Same with deodorant, that sort of thing. What?
No, I'm just reading Nick D's latest thing, which is to buy a Sharpie and write down all important information on your phone.
Nice.
That's funny. Don't do that. But that is funny.
But yeah, so it's it's gonna be different for what different people tend to forget, but those like our top things that we often forget.
What do we forget?
Phone charger, toothbrush, deodorant. Just because it's like you're on autopilot when you first wake up, and if you're trying to get out the door, that might just be something that. So I always make a list. I'll put it like on a Post-it note and put it on top of the suitcase. Yeah. If we have a really early morning flight, so that way it's like, okay, I cannot forget these things.
Yeah, if we're not going to Europe, a lot of times we'll have because Europe is usually later flights in the U.S.
But we're trying to get on the road really early.
Yeah, but if we're going other places, a lot of times it is quite early. Like we're waking up at like 5 a.m. a lot of times. And so, you're just a zombie at that point, right? Like usually for things like that, we're not drinking coffee before our flights. We're like sleeping in the cab or car or whatever on the way to the airport. Then we're trying to sleep on the plane, and we're just zombies till we arrive, basically. So it's important to have those lists.
Yep.
So, Nick D, other hotels were cheaper in Bondi and Melbourne. Were still nice. So that's good to know. Lori Sims, it is funny, I go on trips and I tend to get lots of calls offering me new job positions. Thank God for international phone plans. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a high-class problem to have. I like it. Megan Morris is saying, I'm sure that the hotels are a bit pricier at that time. Definitely want to go for New Year's. Oh, yeah. New Year's would be really cool to go there. Nick Barnett, shea butter. Shea butter. I can't recommend that more for skin hydration, especially hands. Also, both when traveling and when not, especially in the wintertime.
Yep. Yeah.
And Nick knows about the wintertime. So Nick says, my first time in London, I found a place in Victoria for under £100 a night, but it was pretty no frills and no private bathroom either. But clean and a place to sleep, so it wasn't the worst thing.
That's a pretty good location. You can get anywhere in the city from there.
Yeah. And Purdue is telling him that in London you can always get decent rates with Premier Inn. Lower on some people's list, but they still work for me.
We stayed at a Premier Inn.
Our first Premier Inn.
Yeah, on our trip. It was fine.
Yeah, I thought it was nice. It was good.
The bed, like, we were worried that the bed was going to be uncomfortable.
It was fine.
And it was definitely not the best, but it was not bad either.
Definitely not the worst.
No, not the worst.
Eagle Hotel, worst.
Eagle Hotel was worse on this trip.
Betty Hill, best.
The absolute worst bed that we slept in the UK was the one in Betusa Coed in Wales. But we were so
dead tired.
So tired from hiking Snowdon that day that we didn't care. We were just like,
you're welcome. She wanted to take the train, and I made us hike it, and that way we slept like babies.
But I always like to read in the like reviews what people say about the beds.
Yeah, that's super important. Actually, it's funny. We actually stayed at one place when we were in the UK that had 3 bedrooms. Yeah, it had 3 bedrooms, and obviously it's just the 2 of us, so we only needed 1 bedroom. And we went around. I went around to all the beds. And I sat on all of them. I sat on the first one. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Then I sat on the next one. I'm like, oh God, no. And I sat on the next one. I'm like, oh God, no. And I was like, whew. Thank God there's only like.
There's only us, yeah.
Otherwise I'd be like fighting the other couples for like the one bed.
Yep.
Because all the other ones kind of sucked. So that's something to think about. Eric B, I paid like $119 a night at the Hilton in London in February, which is not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. But again, February is not high season for London, so that's probably
that is a good rate still.
That's about as shoulder season as you can get. But yeah, that's not too bad. Nick Barnett's never stayed with them, but I'll definitely check them out in London again. They need to stay right in Zone 1.
Yeah, Zone 1 is helpful if you're trying to get to, like, sometimes you just don't want to have to commute in and out and everything like that.
Lori Sims, I'm not tech savvy and tend to lose info I store on my phone and cannot find it quickly when I travel. Yeah, I mean, that is a...
You have to know yourself.
If you're not good at technology, you know, using like analog, going with like the paper copies is super helpful. I've actually, so it's bitten me in the butt before where I was going to Singapore for work, and I was supposed to have this international data plan from work, and for whatever reason, even though my phone was, prepped for going internationally, it worked in Japan on the way to Singapore. When I got to Singapore, it just would not turn on, so I did not have access to my hotel information. And the problem was I didn't know the address. I kept trying to look it up, but again, my phone didn't have access to the internet, so I just couldn't look it up. And it took me way longer than it should have. Like, got into the taxi, and I said the name of the place, and the guy's like, okay. But then it turned out he didn't know where he was going. It was just like this whole thing where I'm just like, suddenly I've been on this like long freaking flight all this time. And then I'm stressed out, like, I just want to get this hotel so I can actually sleep in a bed before I start meetings for the day. And so, it was just a bad situation. And if I had actually had my itinerary printed out like I should have, it would have been all been fine. So, I will say printed itineraries can be super helpful. So.
Yeah. Oh, Chris Franco, no, he said, I would also suggest using that checklist for when you're returning. I left my AirPods in Vienna. Oh, those are expensive. That is a huge bummer.
I did that. Not in Vienna. I mean, Vienna would be cool. But so the problem with AirPods is they're very slick, right? The case. And so what I think what happened was I had them in my suit pocket on a plane, probably to like Detroit. And I was probably on the flight, and they just fell out of my pocket.
And now he steals mine.
Now I steal hers all the time.
Actually, we got you a pair of Bluetooth headphones, so...
I bought myself a pair, yeah. They're okay. They're not AirPods though. Now I kind of want to buy it.
I think I might be
AirPods.
reviewing a pair of Bluetooth headphones coming up soon in the means to travel ecosystem. I've been working with a specific brand on that. So hopefully that'll come to fruition, and I can tell you guys if it's a good alternative to AirPods or not.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit cheaper.
They look nice. They look really nice.
They look like AirPods in a lot of ways.
I want her to do it and then give them to me so I can use it.
I don't know. It sounds like you can't be trusted.
Wow, okay, so Purdue, if you do use a Sharpie, remember Chem 101, it dissolves like right over it. Okay, interesting. Whoa, where are you going?
I'm sorry, I was going the wrong way. I was just trying to, I know that we skipped a couple things.
Whoa!
It jumped so much, it was scary. Okay, no, we're okay.
You're
now.
not allowed to use the mouse.
I am allowed to use the mouse. That's so mean of you to say. Okay. Lori said she finds if the bed is not the best, it's easier to get out the door. Yeah, sure is.
Well,
but at the end of the day, you're like exhausted because you didn't sleep well.
Well, so in China, we did find that where the beds tended to be not quite as comfortable, even at really nice hotels.
Yeah.
And we'd asked somebody about that, and they said it had to do with something with like Mao's Little Red Book, where he talked about like having a very firm bed is good for like productivity because it meant that you wouldn't just like lounge around in bed, because once you started to like wake up, you wouldn't want to just like stay there, you'd want to get out, right?
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I still prefer a nice soft bed, but you know, whatever.
Okay, this is where I meant to go back to. So Nick was saying that he has stayed at a Courtyard Marriott by Heathrow for just a few bucks more. But yeah, it was kind of far out. So you'd have to factor in the cost and the time of getting in and out of the city. We stayed at a Heathrow hotel and commuted into London on this trip, the very final trip, the very final 2 days of our trip. And it took over an hour to get from the hotel into the city.
But we did that because we weren't going to be there for a long time. We were staying like one night, 2 nights. We're staying there for 2 nights, and you know, we were there for the benefit of easy access to the terminal,
airport. Yeah,
right to the airport. So at the end of the day, for us, you know, it was actually more convenient than staying in the city center because we weren't there for that long.
Yep. No, it was the right choice for us for that particular thing. But if you're trying to like...
Yeah, typically I would recommend trying to stay city center as much as possible because, you know, your time is valuable and you want it to be easy. You know, staying near an airport is not good if you're trying to sightsee within the city.
Unless the airport happens to be very close to downtown or something.
Which is not typical in Europe.
No,
Usually it's not. So, I would highly recommend city center.
Yeah. Lori says she carries a real paperback too. You're a paper gal. That's okay. I just, again, don't recommend having a copy of your passport. Maybe just leaving it with somebody would be the best option there, because then you have basically the exact same access to it. It's just you're not carrying it on your person.
Chris Frank says, I would suggest also using the checklist for when you are returning.
No,
we already did that one.
Yeah,
oh, yes.
Sorry, I said that one.
AirPods in Vienna.
Yep.
So there's another thing on our list. We have two more things on our list, and I will tell you what the penultimate one is. That means second to the last, and that is photo storage. All right, so before you go on a big old trip, you want to make sure you have things backed up. If you are big into photography, that means your SD cards. Make sure that you have those backed up, cleaned out, so you can take all the pictures you want as you're on your trip. Otherwise, have a means to back them up so you can clean them off periodically and continue to take photos. So whether that's if you bring your laptop and your external hard drive, make sure you have all that space that's necessary. Awesome. If you use cloud storage, make sure you have enough storage on the cloud in order to, like, you know, back up all your stuff. Conversely, if you use your phone, we have these neat new iPhone 12 Pros.
We're excited. We literally just opened them last night.
These. I'm really excited to take some video on this, actually. Making sure that you have room for new content, new photos, even new shows downloaded on Netflix or Spotify or podcasts, etc. Making sure you have the space. So, whether that means backing it up onto, Amazon Photos or something else. We use Amazon Prime, so I've really enjoyed using Amazon Photos as a way to fairly affordably get a lot of space for like videos and photo that I take with my cell phone and backing it all up to the cloud, and then I just delete it off my phone so that I'm like never really using a whole lot of space on here from photos. And then if I want to like download a photo onto my phone, edit it, and then post it to Instagram or a video or anything like that, I can just do it all from Amazon Photos. Which, Amazon, what's up? Add us. We can like totally be like partners. But no, I like using that kind of stuff. Eliz uses Apple Cloud Storage for a lot of her stuff.
Yeah, I
use Amazon.
I pay for iCloud. But yeah, I mean, it's good to have those, especially when you get a new phone. But just generally, like, if you take only a few photos or something like that, that can still add up if you have a smaller amount of storage on your phone. Like, maybe you have a phone with only like 16 gigs of storage. You don't want to run out of storage on your phone while you're traveling or on your camera. So just making sure that all of it's cleared and backed up.
It's primarily
will help you start
cards.
with a clean slate.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about like halfway through the day of touring around like, oh shoot, what should I be deleting?
And Nick Barnett's, that's super important for the micro SD cards that you use in like a GoPro. So I know you've got the GoPro and everything, but like making sure that that's all backed up, and actually I need to tomorrow, is making sure that all of that is backed up and cleaned off so that we have hours of video that we can take on the road, etc. That's going to be super important. So
yeah,
because that just eats up. I mean, those videos off of the GoPro are quite large and take up a lot of space.
Yeah.
So, Purdue Victoria Station is great for trips southward, since Victoria is not really a station but a terminus terminal.
Yeah, it's big.
Okay. Nick D, your trip isn't working on this.
Your tip isn't working on this sheet of paper.
Okay.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know what that is. All right, so Catherine Haggerty says, it is amazing. The fireworks show in Sydney Harbor is the highlight of the evening. Can't wait to travel abroad. New Zealand is on my list for my birthday.
Nice.
That's so cool. We really, really, really want to go to New Zealand. We have a lot of friends who actually have honeymoon there and done like the road trip, north to south and everything. That looks amazing.
We love like nature vacations too. So going to New Zealand, I think would be very on brand for us. Like, we just really love that.
It's what we would like to do.
Yeah. I feel like I'm losing my voice, by the way, everybody. I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm getting like crackly. So I'm having water, but it's not fixing it.
So Lori had said about the bed being, if it's not that comfortable, you can get up and out the door. And Nick D's retort to that was that, but then you're crankier.
But then Lori says that she's not cranky when she travels.
Well, that's good.
So
she can be cranky.
I can be cranky. Yeah, I can. I fully will admit it.
We don't film that
I just
part.
get like, that's not true. There's been a few times where
All right, we don't post that part.
where especially in the mornings, if I'm just sleep deprived, it takes me a little while to like become human. I'm not cranky about the fact that I'm traveling. I'm just like not awake yet.
Yep. So Purdue is saying, speaking of international data, Apple just unlocked dual 5G internal SIM capabilities. Best/fastest in the biz.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Let's check that out. Vega Bonnie. 2 nights before I travel, I pack my toiletry bag, and the day before I travel, I get ready by using my toiletry bag, and then I know I have everything I need in it for the next travel day.
So smart.
That's super smart. I really like that. That's And hello, Vega Bonnie.
No, she was on it before I said hi.
Well,
But
hi!
Ed.
Hi again.
And
I
very,
thought that was
very
the first
smart.
time that we were saying hi. Oh, no, that's right. You said hello from where the polar vortex currently is
Yes,
sitting.
and she had the two
Yes.
cold faces.
I hope you're keeping warm.
I know.
We're heading south to avoid it as much as possible.
Yeah, we're trying to avoid it.
Catherine Haggerty says that she agrees nothing worse than forgetting something that you need.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if it's something like really important, like toothpaste or deodorant, because you were a zombie when you were packing everything up last minute. But yes, it's that is a very smart call. We should probably think about doing that.
Yeah. Chris Frank says, my London trip, the hotel was across Westminster Bridge, and for the 7-day hotel and flight was only $3,000 during New Year's.
Okay.
That's a pretty good cost for a 7-day, vacation.
Yeah.
That's really good. Haggerty, Catherine is saying, have to run, gotta work. Good night. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you being here.
Thanks for all the great comments. We really appreciated it. Everyone's saying good night. Nick says, yeah, staying at a Heathrow hotel to me is only good for if you have an early flight the next morning. Exactly.
Yep. Thomas Reiser said he had to cut out earlier for some local weather.
Oh, yeah.
That's important right now because
very cold.
The cold front is moving in.
Everybody stay warm and safe. Just sending out all of the warm vibes you guys' way.
Lori Sims number. We are on number 15.
Yeah, so we just did
final
14.
number.
Final number.
Number 15. What is it?
So this one.
And this is actually apropos to what we were just talking about.
It's to double check the weather, literally, like for your entire trip, the day before you leave, because things change very quickly, and you might be expecting one thing, but maybe there's going to be a heat wave or a cold front or rain that comes through, and you just want to make sure that you have packed appropriately.
Yep.
So that is the final one. And double check the weather for like 3 places. 1 is your destination, 2 is if you have a layover, check it for there, and 3 is for your city as well. And check it for your city for the entire duration of your trip. So
if
that
you
way,
can, depending on how long you're there.
I mean, we're going to be gone for a month. Yes, yeah, so like you can't do that. But like check it for as long as you can, so that way.
Yeah, real quick though, because Nick Barnett's actually brought something up that I think is a great thing that kind of we should have actually put in with like storage of photos, and it was that he is actually surprised at how fast his batteries die on his GoPro.
Yeah.
And GoPro actually is like a massive hog on batteries, so it can wear out your battery pretty quickly as you're using it. But I'd say no matter what, charging everything up before you start a trip, and then on your trip making sure that you are just keeping on top of charging things at night. We like bringing around like the
GoPros are annoying too because they don't use the micro SD charger things. They use the things that MacBooks use.
Yeah, they use like their own thing.
And not the same as iPhone. Of course, iPhone and MacBooks use different ports as well.
Yeah, we carry around like 3 or 4 different like ports basically that charge things. But what we like doing is we bring around like one of those square ports where it plugs in, and it's got like a lot of different things. It's got like 2 USBs and like 4 different like places to plug in like 3-pronged US plugs, and we'll use that thing, and everything else to like make sure we have enough plugs to plug in all of our devices, because obviously we're traveling with a bunch of gear, right, when we go. So we've got the GoPro, we've got my camera, we've got her camera, we've got my other camera, we've got her other camera, we've got like gimbals, we've got all this other stuff that we're keeping around that we need to keep charged, selfie sticks, whatever, and plus our phones and everything else. So we're constantly charging tons of devices every night. So like making sure you have all that stuff so you can plug it in is awesome. And you want to start off your trip with everything charged. So like the night or 2 before, making sure everything is charged is super important. We've got a ton of stuff like right over here that you can't see charging right now to make sure that when we get hit the road, we can actually like film.
And Lori, yes, bringing an external charger is always a good idea, especially one that can like charge multiple things. Have a lot of juice in it would be awesome.
I actually have two. I've got a Zacarias, which is like this heavy brick looking thing, which I think has like three. I think it has like three full cell phone charges in it, which is great. And then I've got also like the wallet, really thin one as well.
Yeah,
it's probably like half a charge, but it's like that emergency charge.
It's enough to get you by.
Yeah.
And then also like we bring a little cube that with us on every trip that plugs into the wall, and it can charge 3 different regular plugs and 2 different USB plugs. So you can have 5 devices charging at one time. So it just extends how many devices we can charge up overnight while we're traveling and stuff too.
Yeah.
Bye, Nick Barnett. Thanks for joining.
Bye, Nick B. But yeah, no, thank you for being on, and I just want to make sure we talked about the battery stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully he didn't leave before we mentioned the GoPro.
So, Thomas Reiser likes to stay at Paddington Hilton, as it is at Paddington Station.
I know.
Yep.
You always mention that one, and I have to stay there someday. Because
one of these days
you
we'll
seem
really
to love it, which means it's got to be good.
Purdue weather. I try not to do connections through places like Chicago. True, or Minneapolis, Minnesota. There's a lot of places that I try not to fly through.
In wintertime especially. I try not to do Chicago, Minneapolis, Detroit. Although sometimes, like, if I'm flying standby, I'll select going through Detroit. If I'm using it as a layover place and the weather looks promising, because then it's kind of the place that nobody chooses to do a layover in wintertime. So if the weather isn't bad, then I'm more likely to have an empty seat.
Yeah, so for years when we were in New York and we'd be going over to Arizona, usually in the wintertime, we would always make the very clear decision that we could always go 2 ways. We either fly through Chicago or we can fly through DFW, and we would always choose Dallas.
Always. We would pay extra to choose Dallas for
because we're like,
Christmas time.
We don't want to get stuck in New York and not be able to make it out to Chicago, or get into Chicago and then get stuck there with like crazy weather. So they totally understand that. That's definitely true.
You guys have had some really great tips, and thanks for following along on all of our. We finished our list. We finished. We did all 15, and we had some good conversations in between.
Lori Sims. I went to Europe and had a heat wave follow me for 3 weeks.
Brutal.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. I remember we went to.
They had a heat wave in 2018 and 2019 in summer in Europe.
I feel like every year's a heat wave now. No, we were in London with your family 2 years ago, and it was a heat wave. And it was interesting, right? It's interesting to be in London during a heat wave because major drought, high temperatures, and you're used to England and London and stuff being green, very green.
Yep.
Because all the rainfall, and we were there and everything was just brown.
It hadn't rained in London in 5 weeks, not even a drizzle. Yeah. And so all of the grass was brown. And I was explaining to my cousin who had never been to London, like, this is not normal. Whenever you come back someday, this is not going to be what you see.
You go to Kensington Palace and it's like
all the flowers were wilted.
Yeah.
And they do a good thing about like conserving water when there is a drought, where they won't water things as frequently and stuff. So yeah, it just wasn't as lush on that trip. And then the following year, so that was 2018, and then in 2019 they were also having a big heat wave right on the tail end of when I went to Paris. And the video that I filmed, how to do your laundry in your hotel sink, like basically a sink laundry tutorial video that's on this channel from 2019. That one was filmed when it was 85 degrees in Paris. And it was brutally hot. Yeah. And so, like, just walking from the RERC after landing to the hotel, which was only like a 3-block walk, I was just gross. I'm like, I have to do laundry immediately. Like, I need to wash these clothes.
Well, yeah, I mean that trip with your family to London was
Yeah.
brutally hot as well. We had to go buy a fan.
Yes, we bought a fan.
We bought a fan because
and all the fans were all sold out. We like meandered around.
We were staying
forever.
at an Airbnb, not at a hotel, and it was just hot.
Yeah.
Which was not great.
Actually, that fan's right here.
Oh yeah. And it was actually really funny because we were staying at this, Airbnb. It was super hot. I actually had to work one day. Went into the office and I was talking to like the doorman at the company's office, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is great."
This
it's
is
like,
the biggest fan we could find. The only fan we could find.
It wasn't the biggest fan. It was the cheapest fan we could find. We were trying to find an affordable fan.
This is small, okay? And so this was the only thing keeping us cool at our Airbnb in the evenings. There's no airflow. It's USB. It doesn't have the plug. Yeah, you can't turn it on.
Oh shoot, sorry. I was gonna show you guys because actually it turns multiple colors.
Does it?
Remember that? Yeah, it goes like neon.
I don't remember that, but that's funny.
Yeah, it has like lights behind it. It's atrocious, but it like cooled us off a little bit.
Yeah.
Because again, when you go to a place like England,
bearable.
where they're not used to having like very warm weather, if they have a heat wave, you're gonna feel it.
Yep. Yeah. Eric B says, "What do y'all think about Athens, Greece? I'm still deciding on another location or two to go to Iceland and Tallinn, Estonia."
I would totally go to Athens.
Yeah, neither of us had actually been to Greece, and we want
really want to go.
We would
bye, Katie
love
Smith,
to.
if we didn't already say bye.
Bye, Katie. And if Iceland and Tallinn, Estonia are not close to Greece though, so you would be spending a little bit more time traveling if you're trying to hit all three of those. So I would either do something in between those two, such as like Amsterdam, or Germany, Berlin or something like that. Maybe even Riga, Latvia, if you're trying to cut down on travel time. But otherwise, I mean, it sounds like you can't really go wrong with Athens if you listen to Jocelyn enough.
Well, Greece, right?
Greece,
they love Greece. Athens, which if you go to Athens, there's things to do. I've heard a lot of people who say when they go to Greece, and it's a shame that Nick Barnett's is not on because he is Mr. Greece, and he's been there many, many times, and he could tell you all about it. But a lot of people that I talk to who've been to Greece say like Athens is something to do because you want to go see the Acropolis and all that good stuff, the Temple of Athena and all those marvelous sites. But that Athens, at the end of the day, there's not a lot to see, and it's really just like this big city. And so for most people, they say get out of Athens and go do some like the Peloponnese and islands and more the coast. So that's one of the things that I've always heard about Greece. I know Bonnie's saying right now she loved Athens, and I'm sure I would love Athens.
You're a history buff.
I love classical
self
history.
Would be all over it.
It would be.
We're going someday for sure.
Out.
Yeah.
I would nerd out for sure.
Or even like Delphi would be cool.
Delphi would be really cool. Go smoke those vapors.
Is that a thing?
So the whole thing about the Oracle of Delphi is that like she sat on this crack and like maybe there's like poisonous gases that were coming up and maybe that's what caused like the visions.
Oh. I had no idea what you were referring to.
Yeah.
This is why he's the history guy and I'm not.
Cosplay 300 on the Peloponnese. I'm not going to cosplay 300 on the Peloponnese because nobody wants to see that. I will draw on the six-pack with a Sharpie.
Delphi. Maybe. You might be right. I might have mispronounced it.
Yeah, I think Delphi is probably how it's supposed to be pronounced, but a lot of people call it Delphi. Kind of like the car company, Delphi. And Thomas Reiser thoroughly enjoyed Helsinki. Yeah, I think if you're going to like Tallinn, Estonia, so if you're going to Tallinn, I think you can also go to Latvia relatively easily. But
Helsinki is, tell me if I'm wrong, Thomas, but I believe you can actually just take a quick ferry over to Helsinki from Tallinn, so it's even easier than like commuting to the airport, getting on an airplane, that sort of thing. And yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of the Walter's World videos about Finland in general, and it looks pretty cool. And Lori wants to go to Crete.
Yeah, Crete would be really cool.
Lori also says, we skipped this before. She said, I've needed to buy new clothes on trips due to the weather changing from when I checked before leaving to being there. Bummer now. I have some great clothes, though, from Paris, Vienna, Prague, and Italy. Yep.
Cool.
I mean, that's a good excuse to go shopping, I guess. But sometimes it can be a bummer. I definitely have had to buy shoes while traveling, and I mean, shoes can be expensive, but I went without waterproof shoes and needed to buy those. So we've all been there. Those of us who've traveled a lot. We actually went to an outlet mall in the UK to buy hiking stuff on this trip. We're several vlogs away from that vlog day, but we bought a bunch of stuff in preparation for doing the North Coast 500 at like an outlet mall.
Yeah, and some of them were super helpful. We probably didn't need all the stuff we ended up buying, but it ended up being pretty helpful. So,
what were the things that we didn't use? I used everything.
We used everything, but I think we could have gotten away with not buying everything.
Oh.
We're probably more comfortable if we haven't bought it all, though.
Yeah.
So it's fine. So Lori Sims had said about she wants to go to Crete, and Purdue says that he met a Greek person in Paris who said that he had to go to Crete.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Nick Barnett's is another great resource for Greece. I know he's not on anymore, but he's been a lot, and his family, I believe, is Greek.
So Bonnie is saying that it's about a 1.5 hour ferry ride from Tallinn to Helsinki. Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff up there that really, Eric B. My thing would be just kind of make it all about that part of the world. That Scandinavian part of the world, because it'll also make your packing a lot easier because the weather will be much more similar for where you're going to be. Up in that northern part of Europe, as opposed to having to pack for, Scandinavian weather and Greek Mediterranean weather.
Well, if he's already going to be Iceland, yeah.
Like if you have all that stuff,
it makes sense to stay north.
Then you only had to pack like one wardrobe.
Right.
If you're adding Greece, suddenly you might need shorts, t-shirts, like other things that are more Mediterranean and like.
And the way Rick Steves kind of approaches it is he says he does Southern Europe in like May and September, and Northern Europe in like late June, July, August, because of those weather things. He specifically plans it so that his wardrobe can be a little bit more appropriate and versatile. So, and the weather, of course, is optimal in those places at those times.
Yeah, so Lori is saying that she read today that they're moving the red light district out of the tourist district.
I read something about that. There's a lot. It sounds like that's changing in Amsterdam now that we all can't go. Like there was also something like
marijuana. So all right, so
I don't think you're allowed to say that, but on YouTube. So pretend you didn't hear that. But any of those
herb. So herb is no longer. So all right. So what's happening in Amsterdam? So the mayor of Amsterdam wants to make some changes, and historically, when they've tried to make changes to crack down on things like the red light district and herbs, they've had to fight kind of like the commerce, like they've had to fight like business. But at this point, a lot of the local businesses are actually supporting new regulations around things like that. So this is actually kind of the first time they've had popular opinion kind of like siding with, the government's view on wanting to crack down on certain things and certain behaviors. And a lot of the motivations behind this is trying to crack down on what they see as budget tourism that is full of people trying to get rowdy. And it's, they're really trying to like curb that as, Amsterdam just being a party, cheap kind of like place to go and be rambunctious. Because Amsterdam has so much to offer, so much beyond the red light district and the coffee shops. So you can go there and you can go see phenomenal Rembrandts and Van Goghs and just like the Dutch masters and like all this phenomenal art. as well as architectures and the canals, and just there's so much in Amsterdam and the surrounding region that I really love, and I highly recommend. And I think that what the mayor is trying to do there, and what local politicians are trying to do, is crack down on things that they see as detrimental to the long-term image of Amsterdam, which I can understand, but I can also understand why that might be upsetting to some people.
Yeah. So we're like really wanting to get back to Amsterdam, and we're hoping to be able to after we get vaccinated and stuff.
We were there in March. I mean, we were just there less than a year ago.
We were supposed to be there for a lot longer than we were. And we love that city, but I'm curious to see what the changes are going to look like. So yeah, we're almost at like the 3-hour mark, you guys, and you guys have been awesome tonight with the chat, and with all of we've had a really great list going on that Lori's been keeping tabs for us, and we've also had great talk about credit cards and just so many other things. Our next live stream throughout the rest of the month, they're all going to be on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. So
7 days.
Yeah, so the next they're all going to be at the same time. So hopefully that's just a little bit more consistent for everybody to mark your calendars and just remember what time to join.
Yep.
We're also Darion's still on. We're going to be on an interview with Darion on Saturday the 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern as well, live. So hopefully you guys can join then too. But yes, we definitely want to see you guys next week because we're going to be live streaming from Tucson. Either from my family's house.
There might be cacti in the background. That'd be so cool.
That'd be crazy. We might be outdoors. I don't even know. We have to figure this out. But theoretically, we'll be in Tucson, and we'll either be at my family's house or at our Airbnb. So we would love to have you guys to cheers to. Oh gosh, no, we're not live streaming from a hot tub ever. No. That is not happening. No.
You guys vote. Let us know.
No, don't vote. It's not happening. All right. But we love you guys. We love talking to you guys every single week. We always really look forward to this. And we thank you guys for coming back and asking us all the travel questions, sharing your thoughts, sharing your experiences, and making this into like a really awesome community.
Yep. We love really learning from you guys too. So it's super important.
Absolutely. So wish us luck on our long journey. Our long journey ahead, and hopefully you guys have a great rest of your week and weekend, and if you watch the Super Bowl, hopefully it's going to be a good game.
All right, guys.
Cheers. Happy travels. Good night.
Bye.